for you?
I could drink. Do you want me to drink?
Right as soon as you hit record.
I want to see your damn microphone. Why are you hiding your microphone from me?
I'm hiding my microphone because I did a little crafty project the other day.
Oh, hey, that's cool.
So for the audio listeners, which is most of them, I just made a little cardstock, not so special podcast surround for my microphone. Because I was watching Adam Conover that does the Adam Ruins Everything on College Humor.
Okay.
And he has a podcast now, and he had a little thing around his microphone. I'm like, that wouldn't be that hard to make. So I just took our logo, put two of them beside each other, and shrunk it down, and then
add it to our web store. People can use it for our foreign correspondence.
This is customized just for this microphone.
That's
and just
true.
for this microphone stand, technically, because I had to make some modifications on this side to make it fit.
So is it just paper?
It's cardstock,
yeah.
Like it's hard paper, thick.
Hard paper. Mm.
Yes. Okay. Just the way you like it.
I like hard things.
Position's terrible, but
yeah, you're gonna have to like put it way up in front of your face now to actually be able to see the whole thing.
I don't need my face here.
We don't need to see that. Oh man,
as long as my audio is better than yours, that's all that matters.
Well, we'll see. Bill will let us know. Sorry, Bill will let me know if my audio is bad. He probably won't say anything to you. He'll just tell me that my audio is bad. Yeah.
Yours sounds better this time.
It's because I have my sexy strep throat back again. So.
Oh, that helps.
Yeah. It's been a fun week of strep. So, if my voice gives out or if I sound weird at some point, that's why. I'm currently on medication.
You always sound weird.
Thanks. I was gonna hang out with some friends last weekend, and I felt like garbage. And then Saturday came along. I'm like, nah, I can't do it. Then I was like body aches, fever, chills, like hot, cold. Couldn't had no appetite. I was like, this is weird. And then Sunday I was feeling better. Monday I was feeling better. Everything's feeling better except for my throat. So, and then it comes down to, what day was it? Wednesday? Maybe it was, or was it yesterday? I can't remember. Whatever day it was. I was like, you know what? I just got to call my doctor. Like, I've had enough of this. My throat hurts this long. Something's up. Call the doctor. And I'm like, hey, any chance I could get in maybe tonight or maybe tomorrow? And you can look at my throat. And they're like, how about in 20 minutes? And I was all the way across town working, still in my work truck.
That's what I figured you're going to say.
Yeah. So I was like, yep, I can be there. Start booking it. Call my office. I'm like, hey, sorry about this, but I got to go to the doctor right now. I will call you when I'm out.
See, this I call a sick day.
Well, they had no problem with it. They're like, yeah, sure, go ahead. They know that I'm not BSing around. So, yeah, did it. Did I met with a resident doctor, and she looked like she did not want to be there. She was like, whatever, let me look at you, blah, blah, blah. And it was kind of, it's not, she's like, it's not strep. I don't know what it is, but it's not strep because you don't have any symptoms of strep other than a sore throat. I was like, okay, fine. And so she she did my whole head exam. And then she's like, do you want to do a strep test just to be safe? I was like, I don't know, you're the doctor. You tell me what I should be doing. But at that point, I was like, sure, let's do a strep test. Because it's a 5-minute test, right?
Rule something out.
Yeah, at least I'll know it's not strep. She's like, yeah, I'll be real surprised if this comes back as strep. 5 minutes later, she comes in, surprise, it's strep. She's like, it makes no sense. You got better. Everything is like strep, you get worse and worse and worse. But this is like, you got better. It doesn't make sense. Wow. Go figure.
Something you're eating is curing it.
I guess. I'm naturally curable.
I was listening to their Sawbones podcast, which is like they do like a deep dive into history of things, medical cures that are not real and stuff like that. It's just interesting husband and wife combo. But they did an episode on malaria, and I was thinking about you talking about malaria and it coming in, you getting better and then getting worse and getting better and getting worse. And I'm like, malaria.
Yeah.
Recency bias, right? I just heard it today.
You just heard it, yeah. Malaria sucks, by the way.
Yeah, I've heard.
Malaria is like, I've never wanted to die more than when I had malaria. So, yeah, it's rough. It's rough.
I don't want to have that.
No.
I was also being surrounded by mosquitoes while I was mowing the lawn.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So it was great. It was a great place to be at that time.
At least you know there's no malaria in Canada, so you're okay.
Yeah, you can be pretty sure. They're actually showing up in the States, which is why they did this podcast in Florida.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, Florida makes sense. There's everything there.
Yeah. Yeah. So. And also, apparently, Florida has a lot of religion in the politics, which is causing them to not necessarily have the best medical care anymore or something. Or people like
Florida's just going to get walled off at some point and become their own. Yeah.
Quebec here and Florida there.
Florida there. Yep. That's pretty much what it is. So,
good time.
Man, it feels like it's been a month since we talked.
Feels like it's been like 3. It's been a long month for me.
It's been a long month in general, but for you even more.
Even more, yeah. Considering it's been 1, 2, 2 almost 3 weeks since I worked.
Okay. Fill in the people.
I got laid off.
Man, what a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
You sent me that text and I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, you're the only person that's not like work related that I was like, I'll just message him because this is crappy.
That sucks. And I don't like to say sucks. I have not been
laid off in 19 years since my first job out of college.
You weren't laid off from RIM?
No. I quit voluntarily. After the layoffs were all done, about a year later, I think it was, everybody that I had, or one person that I had known that was laid off got a job somewhere else. And he brought me over, as well as another guy who quit because he didn't want to get a chance of getting laid off. Yeah. So they moved to somewhere else, and they told me like a week or 2 later. So I moved over to there.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. Well, what happened?
Oh, Jesus. So I was in the office, just a normal day on a Tuesday. Actually, the day before, there was very subtle signs. We usually have a team meeting on Wednesdays, every Wednesday at like 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock. It was 2 o'clock. And our director, who's just like, he's just like our manager, but he's actually director in title, whatever. He usually is around us and shooting the shit and stuff, but he had moved that meeting one day earlier, which seemed odd. We all just thought maybe he had a meeting or a customer visit or something like that on the Wednesday, and that would make sense. But then someone else on our team brought it up and said, it seems weird that he moved that meeting. This reminds me, she said, maybe this is just post-traumatic stress type thing that I'm now geared to watch for this, but it feels like BlackBerry. She said, it feels like BlackBerry when there was layoffs and the meetings are moved to earlier times because they're planning for the, get everybody in the office on the same day or tell people who's been laid off afterward. So there's just a little thing in the back of the mind that's like, oh, that's interesting. And it's interesting you would think of that, but no indications of that so far. And then we come in the next morning and around, I swear it was like 10:30, one of our coworkers was coming back into the office from just having gone out for an appointment or something. And he says, yeah, I just saw so-and-so outside, a fairly high up guy, and he just got walked out. He's laid off. He said he just laid someone else off an hour before that.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so he laid someone off, and he also said he had another person to lay off afternoon.
But then
didn't get a meeting booked. Didn't even get a chance to do it because he was laid off.
That's so shitty. That is such a bad practice.
So I find out of about 200 people that work in our office or our 2 buildings, there was about 18 people let go, me included, plus that girl on my team who saw it coming.
Yeah,
she was laid off, and then my manager also laid off.
Man.
Yeah.
And reason?
Just sales aren't as high as they could be or should be, so they can't maintain this many people. And yeah, it's all bureaucracy.
And your name got picked out of a hat, or because you have too many pictures on the walls of your managers doing things?
You'd think that would be related, but no. So that's our director. We have the pictures on the wall, and we also filled his office full of balloons.
Mm-hmm.
So he was the one who had to choose. From what I hear from my other coworker that's still there, they went out and talked, and it was basically give me two names. He gave the two names, and that was the girl on the team, or the one other girl. I'm not going to give names, but and then the other guy who was my manager. Apparently, he said those two are who I pick. So then a week later, his VP comes back to him and says, I need one more name, which he struggled with between me and my friend who I've been working at 3 different jobs with and have known for 17 years, longer than I've known my wife. And that he picked me because that guy has been at the company longer, has more experience with training customers on site, and also would be more expensive to let go because he's been there longer. So the severance would be bigger.
Yeah.
So I've been there just over 4 years.
Yeah.
So the director, when he came in and basically said to the girl on the team, can I talk to you for a minute? And at this point, we had already heard about the layoffs and laid off the other people being laid off, and we didn't know who else yet. We kept hearing names from other people in the other building. And she just looks at him like, can I pack up my stuff first? He's like, no, you don't have time. Like, we got to go. And she's like, can I just log out of everything on my computer? He's like, no, there's no time for that.
Really?
So she goes to the meeting room with him. They talk about it. The details I learn later on is you sit down. He tells you, unfortunately, your position's no longer required or it's redundant or can't afford it, whatever. And HR then explains all of the options, like what your severance is and everything. They have a piece of paper ready with it. And at that point, your accounts are already disabled. They ask for your badge. They ask if you have anything personal, any personal items at your desk, and any work items at home. And if you have any work items at home, they'll mail you a prepaid box.
Mail you?
Yep.
You can't just bring it in.
No, most teams you can't. So on our team, our director said it was fine for us to come in. So that we were able to come after hours a certain night, and all 3 of us came in and did that. So then after she was let go, then like literally minutes later, the director comes back. Sorry, actually, my manager came back first from him having been in an appointment because he's in the process of buying a house and going through a divorce. And
oh man,
he comes back and he's like, what's going on? Because everybody's just silent. It was just me, my friend that I've known for a long time, and another guy on the team that were there. Another guy on the team was traveling, so he wasn't there. But he just looks at us like, what? And we're like, they just let her go. And he's like, what? And you could just see the look of concern in his face, like, oh no. And he's probably thinking he's next, or it's possible to be him, or what's going on here. And he's already been laid off by the company that acquired us, acquiring a previous company he worked for in the past.
They just don't like him.
So he got laid off again. Our director walked around the corner and looked at him and said, do you have a minute? And he just looks at him and just stares at him like, seriously? I think he said, seriously? And our director, with a stone straight face, but like red face and looks like he's about to come to tears. Says, yeah. And he takes him away. So then me and the other guy who are left there are just like staring at each other like, what's next? Right?
You start packing up your shit.
Who's next? We literally started packing our stuff. But I had like a photo studio there that I had brought in from home. So I started packing that up. And I'm just like, it's a lot of work to pack this thing up. And do I need to or not? Am I overreacting? Should I be packing this thing up? So I started packing it up anyway. And then my director came back and looked at me and was like, you got a minute? I'm like, oh God.
Oh, gosh.
Kidding me? Like, I'm very cynical and jaded, especially at work.
Yeah.
But I didn't actually think I would be next. Or that there would be 3 people on our team go. Of like 5. We have a contractor on our team, and then the 4 guys and the 1 girl. Yeah.
So it was literally just your friend and the guy who was traveling left.
And the one other guy who was there at his desk. My friend was
Okay.
already away. So there's 3 of them left on the team. That was 6 because the manager. Yeah.
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 Man.
The girl did a different role, but she was with us. Like she was
Yeah.
basically like RMA coordinator kind of thing. So we don't always count her, but yes, it was basically half the team gone. So there are 3 and the director left. And we also the documentation person who's on contract.
Yeah.
I say have as if I'm still there.
Yeah.
So then they never told people who was let go other than your immediate team. So I kept getting messages on LinkedIn and like emails from people like for days afterward, just being like, what happened? What's going on? Why can't I add you to this Jira or this like bug ticket? Why can't I sign it to you anymore? You're no longer in the address book. What happened? Yeah.
Yeah, you can't figure that out after I can't add you to anything. Come on.
Well, I think they're just surprised.
Yeah.
Because like I was a top performer on the team as well. So that doesn't help.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And then I messaged the one guy who was traveling. No, he messaged me when he got up in the morning and he had a message from our director saying what had happened. And he messaged me right away and says, what the heck? I thought I would be higher on the list than you, is what he said.
Yeah.
But he travels for work and they need people who still travel. So yeah,
man,
I didn't travel for work.
So were you able to take your stuff with you when you left your studio?
So I wasn't at that time, but they said I was able to come back after hours someday. So
so that was that day. Okay, yeah.
The next week, I think it was, or maybe it was a couple days later. I forget. It's all a blur. So a couple days later, I think me and the manager and that girl all went in at the same time, just because we been given the same date and time to do it. And then my director was there, HR person was there, and my friend was there because my director asked him to help. Just so they can watch us, basically, because
don't steal shit.
Someone there to watch you. Yeah. So then
I'm surprised they even let you back in the building. Really, because
he felt bad. Yeah. I've never been in a company that would let you back in the building.
Yeah. Normally they would walk you to wherever you need to do, watch you pack up your stuff, and then walk you out.
Only because of our director that they did that.
Yeah.
Because he seriously felt bad, like he was about to cry the whole time.
Well, yeah, I couldn't imagine having to do that.
Was happening. Yeah. Well, that's why I don't want a management role ever. I don't want to do that crap.
I've never been in a management position. I have convinced people to quit before because they weren't good.
You told me about that. The people you're training?
People I'm training, yeah. I'm just like, I don't think you got this, that kind of thing. Yeah, I have to have that conversation. But basically, I incept the idea of you should quit by yourself. Take control of your life. Don't let them do it to you.
It's funny.
Yeah. Well, that sucks, man. I feel really bad, and I hope. How's the job hunt going? I hope it's going well-ish.
I don't know yet. So I've had interviews on the phone with 3 different places. One is a place I worked in the past. It's actually the job before this job, like the same company, but for a different role.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually a brand new team they're making, and it seems promising. They seem to be eager and in a hurry, but then at the same time, nothing from them today.
Yeah.
Like the director of that team messaged me on LinkedIn today and like, hey, do you know this product? Because there's 2 products that I could be supporting. I don't know either of them very well, but one of them I at least used before when I was there, and he asked me about that one. So I don't know, but no offer, no nothing official yet. I just had a call with him to kind of talk, which is backwards of what they normally do, and then I had a call with HR, and she said this is kind of backwards of what we normally do.
Yeah, a little bit.
But he got my name from a guy that I used to work with who is a director there. So I think that's why it went backwards, because someone that I know recommended me. So
yeah.
And I already applied to the job as well. Through another person that I know that referred me, did a reference. Because at that company, if you get referred, the person that does the referral, like the existing employee who does a referral, gets a bonus of like $3,500.
Nice.
So it's a pretty good referral. So
and then they have to take you for dinner, right?
They're getting you a job.
Yeah, but still, you're getting them $3,500.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. I've never been through a layoff. I've been let go once, but that was kind of like I already had another job and I was just kind of hanging on to this one.
mm-hmm.
And finally they were just like, I wasn't, obviously my time was elsewhere and I was just kind of showing up to this job whenever, and they were just kind of like, you probably shouldn't come back anymore.
Like multiple part-times was what it was, or
I was doing my schooling and my full-time PSW work.
okay.
And then I was working at a car dealership on the weekends.
Oh, okay.
So it was like I'd show up on Saturday for a couple hours, and then they were just like, "Yeah, this is probably the last time you need to come." And we're like, "Okay." Like I knew it was coming eventually, so.
Okay.
But that's been it. Every other job I've had, I've quit voluntarily. So.
Well, I was told by my friend that works there still that my director has been staying up at night trying to find a job for me. My director, when I went to go get my stuff, he said he was talking with his wife and they were trying to figure out where to get me a job.
Yeah.
So I think he feels pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, that's good. At least, like it's not personal, right? You can't hold him accountable for like it was his decision, but it wasn't his decision, like
in a way. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right. To his face, I'll tell him I blame him. That's
he would probably appreciate that.
Reference, which is good because having your previous director and my manager, who was also let go, also offered to be a reference for me. Having both of them be references is a good thing because that means like I wasn't let go because of any particular ill will or bad performance or anything like that. So
yeah, for sure.
Quite the opposite.
Quite the opposite, yeah.
If anything, the problem with if they were looking at it statistic wise, I was taking less tickets than the other guys, the other two of the ones that are still there. But that's because I kept getting put on side projects because I was good at side projects. So,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm keeping my eye out if I see something. I don't know much of your field kind of job things, but if I have contacts, I send them your way. So
yeah. I appreciate it. You saw my resume. You see
You're the most overqualified person that I know. Let's be honest. I open your resume. I'm just like, holy crap. My resume is a joke.
See, and I'm looking at some jobs, and I'm like, oh, if I also had this, I could do that job. Yeah, programming is the big one that I'm like, I need to improve on that so I could take some more, get some better paying jobs, better jobs, easier to find jobs.
Yeah. Everybody wants programmers.
Yeah, and I could do it, but I don't trust myself enough to do it without some better training.
You can always start and then learn as you go too, right?
Yeah, it's just they're willing to. You're a junior then, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to go into a junior role when I'm already a senior anywhere else. If I stay in support.
Yeah. That's fair.
So anyway, I've got three things I'm interviewing for right now. 3 separate places, 3 separate jobs, and they all have their pluses and minuses. So yeah, lovely. But I have applied to 47 places, 47 jobs.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And I've only heard back from 11 of them, plus the 3. Yes, the 3 is separate from the 11. Of course, I have a spreadsheet to track the places.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
Come on, Eric. Actually, yeah, 47.
Man.
A lot of them I know I'm either overqualified for or underqualified for. So I'm not surprised that I haven't gotten a lot of them. Like there were ones that were outside of my wheelhouse, but I was like, I could learn that, right?
Yeah. So, but still.
Like one of them looked really cool. It was dealing with 3D modeling software that was used for making movies.
Oh, okay.
So like basically special effects software. Yeah. I was like, that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be cool, yeah.
They were the quickest ones to get back with. Nah. But there's also a lot of people applying to all these jobs. Like I'm looking at these jobs and there's at least, when the job has been up for one day, there are at least 200 applicants.
Really?
When the one I applied for on Tuesday has over 400 applicants. And the only reason why they contacted me is because I guess, so on LinkedIn, you can put yourself in looking for work or like ready to work status.
Yeah.
And then recruiters can look through resumes of those people to try and find it. And I'm assuming they have good search tools or something, because this lady was able to find me and messaged me and said, hey, are you interested in this role? And I messaged her back and said, yeah, for sure. I've actually already applied on Tuesday for it. And she's like, oh, great. So we're on the same page. So I just had a call with her today, and that seems promising. A little ambiguous right now, but I think the next step of the interview will be with the manager. So it'll be much more, a lot more answers there.
Yeah.
They seem to be in a bit of a hurry. And the other one where I used to work, they seem to be in a bit of a hurry. So I don't know. And then the other one, the third one, the guy who is the president or CEO, no, president, whatever, co-founder of the company. And he's on vacation right now in California. So I can't talk to him until next Thursday or Friday. So.
Wow. If they're in a hurry, they better hurry up.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm just basically hoping to get those other two more firmed up so that one I can come back to him with a counter offer, because they wanted me to move to Ottawa. I don't want to move to Ottawa.
No.
Yeah. And the pay wasn't that great. So like it was below or no rate. Yeah. I'd be at the high end of their pay range where I currently last was. And he seemed hesitant to do that. And then I said, can I work remote? And he said, we've never hired remote. Maybe we'd be considering to do it if we did a 6-month contract. Like, I don't want to do a contract. Like,
no.
I need benefits for my family. Like,
yeah, for sure. Look out for you and your family first.
Yeah. So I might just, at least when everything's said and done, go back to him with the other two offers as like, this is what I'm looking at right now for my talent. Like, you've got to compete or you're not going to get me.
Yeah.
Now it is interesting because they're in the drone space, that one, and they want the job would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the one's in financial, and that does not sound fun. But.
No, but a job's a job, I guess.
And
use it as leverage. You be the person. Remember when I had the competing offer scenario and I felt really terrible, and it was just like, I'm not this kind of person, and you said maybe we should be. This is your opportunity to be this person, to just use whatever you can to squeeze the most out of your employer, because they're going to do the same to you.
The call I was on today with the HR person from the one place, not the ones that I'm trying to get them to come up, but I was worried their range wasn't up because Glassdoor is a website you can go to see salaries for companies for certain positions, and the range they showed was a little low. So I was worried they were going to come back with something low, but there was no one of a senior role for this position at that company on that site, because people have to voluntarily say their pay, which isn't very common, right?
Yeah.
So I was a little hesitant or a little worried that they were going to say it was low. And when she came back with the number, it was on the low side, but she said, that's no problem. They're probably willing to go higher. So I told her what I was currently at and said, I'm not going below that. And she said, well, maybe we'll just ask them for a little more. If you would like a little more, let's just ask them for a little more. And if they come back saying they can't, then you've got some room to negotiate. It's fine. But, just ask for some more. So she added an extra like 5%. No, not 5%. What is it? I don't know. Yeah,
we get the point. Yeah. we don't need exact numbers. It's okay.
I was gonna do calculation of the numbers. I'm like, that doesn't sound right, but it is. Yeah. So busy time. So I've literally been sitting at my desk all day for the last 3 weeks, with the exceptions of I was camping or cottage for the one time, which was the weekend right after I was laid off, I think. And then maybe that was this past week. I don't remember. Anyway, cottage, and yesterday we went to Kiwanis Park in the afternoon with the kids because it was a free Kiwanis Park day.
Okay.
Which is just a local park with swimming. Yeah. So other than that, I've been treating this like a job to find a job.
I was going to say, with all your free time, what have you been? I
haven't been looking at it as free time. When I get a job, like say someone makes an offer to me, I might be like, okay, can you bump that like 2 more weeks and then I'll take a vacation.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I probably won't do that knowing myself, but at least a week would be nice of relaxing.
That's what my wife did. She took a week off between her two jobs. She was just like, I just need some time.
And this job that I was just at, I was saving. You can carry over 2 weeks of vacation, and I've been carrying over 2 weeks the whole 4 years I've been there.
Yeah.
Thinking if I ever leave, I'd like to have 2 weeks of vacation in between paid. And now I didn't get that option, but they did pay it out. So,
well, that's good.
Yeah. So, and then I was expecting or thinking that the severance would be paid. I never said severance, but I got severance.
I would assume you would get severance. Yeah.
Yeah. The mandatory for Ontario for working there for over 4 years is 4 weeks. And they did that. But most tech companies these days also do. And if you sign this agreement saying you won't talk bad about the company, you can get more.
Yeah.
And it's substantially more. So I did that.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't talk about, well, I don't talk about the company for my privacy anyway, but
no,
I don't talk badly about the company, but yeah, so that's definitely going to help, but it sure would be nice to get a job and use that money to, pay off my wife's car or fix my car. Did I talk about my car?
No.
Oil? Oh, good. I got that news.
Before we moved to your car.
This is all me talking.
My wife has a friend who works in HR, who's been an HR person, whatever. And she always said to my wife and me, she said, if you ever get one of those contracts saying, if you don't talk bad or whatever, we'll give you more. And they said, always refuse the first one, ask for another one. And they say they'll always give you more if you ask for more.
I was thinking about it. I just wanted it said and done. That's
that's the thing. And that's what they're counting on.
Yeah, the two coworkers I was let go with are both going to fight it. They said they both were contacting a lawyer.
Yeah,
but they've also both been there for longer than 5 years, which I hear in Ontario is like a threshold of more money, basically. And also, the one guy was a manager, so that also is another threshold of where you're expected to receive more on a severance.
Yeah,
when you're in a management position. Yeah. I don't remember what I was going to talk about now.
Your car's leaking oil.
Oh, yeah. So it's leaking oil. To keep it short, leaking oil from the head gasket on both sides of the motor since it's a boxer motor.
And it's a Subaru, so it's expected to happen at some point. Every Subaru, yeah.
It's only at 160,000 kilometers.
That's about right.
Yeah. So that's about.
Surprised it hasn't happened already. To be honest,
that's also true.
Usually around 100,000 is when they start leaking.
Well, and I don't drive it gently, but my wife did drive it for most of the time. So
yeah,
there's that. Yeah, so that's not fixed. That's just leaking on my driveway.
Just
at least
put some cardboard under it.
Oh God.
Just let it leak on the cardboard and you're okay.
I think my neighbors would like if I did that because I think both of them cringe when they see it dripping onto my concrete driveway.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I have some oil lift stuff if you want some stuff to get the oil out of your concrete.
Yeah, I need to get that fixed before I bother doing that.
Yeah, that's true. But just so you know, if you need it when you do get it fixed, that's not a cheap fix.
No, that's pull the engine. My brother-in-law is my mechanic because he works at the place where I take my car to, and I already talked to him about it.
So he's going to come to your driveway and fix it? So.
No, he wants to do it at his work because it'll be a lot easier on him to have a lift and everything and all the right tools. Yeah, he needs to pull the engine.
Jeez, not looking forward to that.
No, I'm not either.
That's the funny part is like, okay, so last month we were talking about how we were looking at trailers and stuff on the way back from whatever camping trip we were on.
Yeah.
So that continued on, and now it's come to the point where we are looking at trading in our Subaru. Not super seriously, but I actually put my car's information into like one of those online car offer places.
Yeah.
I got an offer higher than what I paid for my car.
What?
Because of the used car market right now.
So I'm like, what's it worth? Because I'm pretty sure mine's worth like $5,000, $6,000 at the most.
Probably.
That's what I'm thinking at the year that it is.
Yeah.
10.
Yeah. So mine. So I can divulge information. I don't really care. I bought my Subaru for $15,000. Exactly. $15,000 is what I bought my Subaru for. And I got an offer for almost $17,000. And I've had it for 4 years.
So sure, the market's gone up, but I also assume that you've put kilometers on it slower than everybody else has is also probably
yeah. I'm still under 100. I'm well under 100,000 kilometers. I'm just at, I think, 70,000 now.
And it's a 2015. Okay.
So I was like, I at this point I can have driven it for 4 years for free if I trade it in.
Yeah, you're being paid.
So I'm being paid to drive it. Yeah.
Yeah.
How often does that happen? So that's the only reason I'm thinking we could upgrade technically. Now we still owe some money on the car, right? So we'd have to pay that off.
Yeah.
To get the full amount, but
that's hilarious. When you said my car, you're thinking of trading it. I'm like, well, I could just buy yours. And then you said 17,000.
17,000.
Like,
you can buy my Focus. You want my Focus?
I don't want a Subaru that badly. No, I don't want Focus.
My Focus is fun though. It's a manual.
I don't want a manual.
You don't want a manual?
I'm gonna get a manual. I'm gonna get an off-road truck. That's a manual.
Well then
that's
do that.
Only way I'm gonna go with a manual.
Then do that.
I don't need to do that either. Trucks are very expensive right now too. Jeeps, same thing.
They are.
Oh, my VCRs are stopping as we're talking.
Priorities.
Yeah. It's more important than a podcast. Well, you're also going to hear no, you won't hear that because I have the noise canceling on.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not making noise.
Well, I didn't buy a camping trailer, but I did buy an enclosed trailer.
Oh.
Spent more money. I split the purchase. I split the purchase with my dad. We've been talking about getting a trailer for a while.
Okay.
We were actually looking at so my father-in-law has a utility trailer, and I was thinking of trying to make an enclosed box that I could slide in and out of it, basically.
Okay.
And I was talking to my dad about it, and he was just like, "Why don't we just buy an enclosed trailer? Why are we making this difficult?" I was like, "Well, it would serve both purposes, you know." He's just like, "Yeah, but if we just buy an enclosed trailer, then you have a utility trailer with your father-in-law, and then you have an enclosed trailer here, and it's like you have both." So I'm like, "Okay, you're right." Anyways, so I was actually I'd been looking for a while. My dad and I had been watching. The problem is the only vehicle that I have that can tow is the Subaru. It's not even really meant to tow. I think we talked about this last month.
Yeah, CVT.
So my options were limited for what I could actually tow, especially enclosed. Enclosed trailers are usually heavy because they're either steel or aluminum's not heavy, but it's usually big and bulky. If they're aluminum, they're usually a lot bigger.
And you have the frame and then the skin on the outside.
Yeah, and then bigger axles and blah, 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 blah. So I'm just like, it's going to be so hard. And I had basically written off finding one. And my mom sent me one. She's like, what about this one? And it actually worked out really well. It's like a homemade trailer, but the sides of it are basically like plastic and vinyl with a wood frame on the inside. And that's it. So it's really light. I towed it with the Subaru, no problem. I went to go pick it up. The guy was asking $1,800 for it, which was a little bit much.
Okay.
I went and saw it. The guy, he used it for his landscaping business, so he just pulled tools around with it, basically. Looked it over. I offered him $1,500 for it. He said, sure. I drove away. It wasn't until I inspected it, but I was kind of in a rush. I didn't have the proper hookup for the lights because I took my father-in-law's truck and he's got the 7-pin for a mobile home, mobile trailer. Okay, they have, and the brakes, I think, is included with that too.
Yeah, the 7 usually can have brakes. Yeah.
So this was just a 4-pin. So I didn't have the proper adapter. So I drove it with no lights and the other guy's plates, and I was very illegal. Drove it to my parents' house, dropped it off. So I couldn't test the lights. By the time I did test the lights don't work.
Oh. So
it was just a lot of, I got money off, and he accepted my offer way too fast, which means I overpaid for it. I should have paid less. But anyways, when I dropped it off at my parents' house, I realized the tongue is actually bent.
Oh.
It's not a lot, but it's enough just to be annoying. So the whole trailer sits 6 inches to the right.
Oh my God.
It's small enough where it doesn't make that big of a difference. It still sits behind the car. So it's just something
I was going to ask to borrow it sometime, but now I don't want to.
You can.
Kidding. I have no need for it, but knowing that I can borrow one.
You can. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know it's there. But anyways, it's been worked out. It's leaking in the side, so I've got to get in and pull the wood. There's some rotten wood in there, so I've got to pull the wood out and stuff. I've aired it out as best I can. I've put mold killer spray on everything, and
let me know if you need help rewiring.
So basically what happened is we went on a camping trip 2 weeks ago. The whole idea of buying the trailer was I could put everything in the trailer that I needed.
Not big enough.
It all fit. That was fine. But the whole thing was
the bad news.
The whole thing was but the lights don't work. And I'm driving, so we went up near Morrisburg, which is like just south of Cornwall. Okay. It was a long drive, and I didn't feel comfortable. So the running lights worked, but the blinkers and brake lights didn't work. So I knew it was a wiring issue. I spent the next how many days? I was fixing up the trailer, he had shelves in there, had to pull shelves out, make it work the way I wanted, put lights in so I can see when I'm working in there, all this kind of stuff. And then I finally figure out, okay, I need to work on these lights. I spent 2 nights working on the lights. Could not figure it out. The night before we leave, I said, screw it. I ripped all the lights out and rewired the whole trailer myself.
Oh my God.
In the dark.
So you never found the cause of the problem.
I found the cause after I cut it out because where it plugs in, after I was pulling the whole thing out, it was like a rat's nest of wires. And they were all like electrical tape soldered, like all this garbage. And I was just like, this is the problem here. Either way, I would have had to pull it out and deal with it. But I rewired a trailer by myself for the first time. So
okay,
check that off the list. And I was actually going to text you and be like, how do I do this? But I was like, then that gives away something I could talk about on the podcast.
It's no job loss, but I guess.
I know. Well, you hadn't lost your job at that point, but I was on that camping trip when you texted me that you lost your job.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Interrupting your family camping trip for that.
But I actually was on the phone with my other friend who was a mechanic, and I'm like, okay, how does this work? Because they're LED lights. I'm like, do I have to run power separately to each light, or can I daisy chain and blah, 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 blah. Anyways, and he's trying to talk to me over the phone. I'm sending him pictures, and it was a whole ordeal. Finally, whatever, it's working now. I changed the connectors. I still got to fix a little bit more because on the drive back, my wife was driving, and she hit some train tracks pretty freaking hard, and pulled one of the wires out of the thing. And I kind of jerry rigged it together till we can get home, and I haven't touched it yet. So
yeah,
he had wires sitting outside the trailer underneath, getting all the crap and grit and water and salt and sand. And so I had to rewire everything to pull all the wires up into the trailer and then secure it. So
boy, fun.
Idiots. Fun. So if you want a trailer, I got 2 now.
Yeah.
Well, 1 is mine, but
yeah, I have 0. So yes, I'll borrow it sometime whenever I need it. I haven't needed it yet. I didn't need your bike carrier either for that cottage trip. I was going to, but
well, it's true.
My son didn't ride his bike enough, and we're like, we're not packing more stuff. We don't need bikes. There's lots of stuff to do there already. So yeah. So we did the cottage trip. It wasn't as hot last year. Last year, there's no air conditioning at this cottage, which is basically just an old house. And there's my whole family of 20 people there. So it was fun. It was good. Kids love the pool there, and pretty much the biggest attraction there is the pool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. We did the camping trip, obviously. So it's my parents took my kids on the Wednesday, and then my wife and I went up on the Saturday. It's supposed to be like a 4.5 hour drive. It takes like 6 actually, almost, because it's I don't know what it was going on. We took our time a little bit, but I didn't think it was that bad. Anyways, got there, managed to set up a tent in time, and I brought our famous. We bought a cot for the kids. I had one cot that I'd found in the garbage, and then I went and bought another one for the other one.
Yeah.
So they had cots. So my wife and I are on the queen bed inflatable cot that we had last year that worked fine.
Yep.
And then we set it up. Everything was hunky dory. We did our first night on our bed. It was great. And then in the second night, it gave out. And this is why I hate air mattresses so much.
Me too.
So
all garbage, every single one.
Every single one. So we gave up. My wife and I went out the next morning. We went to Canadian Tire. We bought 2 new cots for us. It was like over $250 just for freaking cots. I'm like, we're not dealing with this again.
My neighbor just told me he just bought 2 cots for him and his son to go camping, and he's only used them once. He probably will use them once a year, and he said we're free to borrow them anytime.
Yeah, perfect. I have cots as well.
Thin foam, he said. Thin bit of foam.
Yeah, that's what I need. I need to get a little bit of. So we've been doing camping or cots, and then like the camping, like sleeping ground pads on top. It's like that little tiny air mattress.
Yeah.
They also
not air, it's foam, right?
No, these ones are like self-inflating. There's air inside them, and you can blow into them.
Okay, it's not just foam. Like it doesn't inflate on its own. No, it does.
It does if you leave it. It will, yeah. But then I also give it a little blow just to help it.
Okay.
But they're not great either. So I gotta figure out little pieces of foam for my wife and I as well. So, and while I had my strap, I slept down here on my cot as well. So like it's already come in handy.
Good. Making all the purchases.
Yeah, I know. It's literally it has been one of the most expensive months. That was a very expensive camping trip. Like towing the trailer uses more gas, right? So it was expensive, and then for driving that long, it just ate up the gas. So expensive gas, expensive cots. We ate out, and it was just like one thing after another. And yeah, it was an expensive trip. So we're just trying to like lay low a little bit right now.
our cottage trip, my parents do as their Christmas and birthday gifts to all of us. So they basically don't do any birthday or Christmas gifts for all of us.
Yeah.
Except the kids get something, especially if they're under 10, I think it was. But yeah, so that was basically free for us. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So before getting laid off, I had taken my broken modified N64 to Good Time Games.
Okay.
I told this already.
And he had told you that he could eyeball a short, basically.
Yeah. I told this in my driveway, didn't I? When you were dropping something.
You said last episode we talked about it.
Did I talk about that?
Yeah. And he looked at it and said, "There's a short right there."
Yeah. Okay. I did talk about it. Okay. I don't know. I wrote it down again, or maybe I forgot to delete it. Anyway, that's fine. I've also continued, but
did you fix it though? Have you fixed it?
Yes, so it's fixed. I thought I already clarified that, but maybe I hadn't tried it yet.
I don't remember if it was fixed yet or not.
Okay, it is fixed, and I've got the EverDrive in it, and it's hooked up with HDMI, and it's great.
Okay.
So now I have that RGB one, and maybe a FrameMeister I should be selling.
Yeah, you should be. Yep.
FrameMeister's in a box right here, waiting for me to decide whether I should keep it or not. Because I also have the OSSC.
Yeah, I remember you said that.
The same as the FrameMeister. Yeah. And then I also have the what was the other one? Oh my god, the RetroTink, which the RetroTink doesn't do SCART, so it won't work with that N64. But the RetroTink will work great for all my other component cable consoles.
Yeah.
So I have hooked up to a component switcher right now. Yeah, that's the plan, is to keep it as like a upscaler, basically.
Yeah.
Good one, as opposed to some of the other ones out there, and some of the other ones I've had in the past. Yeah. Well, continuing with the commercials is what I was going to say. So I haven't done enough of it, but I did a bunch of editing 2 nights ago, last night, I forget, 2 nights ago, I think. So I got a whole bunch of videos edited and ready to go. just from one tape. It's like a long tape from 1988. I forget what it was from, and I've gotten 46 commercials out of it. I think, yeah, minus those 44 commercials out of it. I'm not done editing it yet. So, but on YouTube Live, I have 270 commercials now, and 167 scheduled, and 288 drafts that I need to just schedule out.
Just schedule, yeah.
So, but I have it scheduled out till end of May next year.
Good.
So I want to get a full year, and then I'll start filling in the days in between so that I get like one every day as opposed to every other day. Every other day is sustainable, but this guy in town that I think I told you about, Tape Keeper is his username, and he has a YouTube channel where he releases 3 commercials every day. I'm like,
that sounds familiar.
That would be a nice goal to hit at some point. At some point. Yeah, we'll see. It's pretty cool. I've been in his Discord, and him and a bunch of people talk, and it's good to throw questions off them. And yesterday someone threw out a question of like, hey, what capture card do you guys recommend or use? So I just threw out all of the capture cards that I'm using on my various setups. It's just neat to talk about people who are like-minded with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because Bill and Chris don't talk about that stuff.
No, not to you anyway.
Well, yeah.
Well, I've been riding my mini bike still around town. Yeah, it's been fun.
Yet?
No tickets yet. I've taken my sons through areas where there are clear signs saying no motorbikes. But I continue to do it. So, it's actually the people you would think would call on the cops on me, aren't. It's a lot of the older people who you would think would be annoyed.
But is it because you have your kid with you?
I think it's because I have my kid with me. Yeah. And I specifically tell him like, hey, when you see people, wave at them. So we're driving. He's just like, he does this. I'm like, ah. And I'm like, yes.
So a cute wave too.
Yeah. So they just smile and wave, and everyone thinks it's great. So I haven't gotten in trouble yet. So we'll keep that as hopefully going. I've changed the throttle, the hand grips on it. Just going through
replaced them.
Replaced them. The other ones are just like cheapy plastic ones, like the stock ones.
Oh, I see. Not squishy. Not like rubber.
These ones aren't squishy, but they're just a little bit more grippy. Okay. So it can turn a little bit easier. And I usually wear gloves as well. Just like the one thing I ride with, like when I ride my motorbike, I'll ride t-shirt and shorts and whatever, but I'll always wear gloves because I don't want my hands slipping on the throttle. So
interesting.
Yeah. If I'm just booting around the complex, like whatever, I won't wear gloves. But if I'm actually going for a trip, like around the block or through trails and stuff like that, then yeah, I'll...
like an off-road trip or something like that.
Yeah, like an off-road trip. Yeah.
Something like an off-road trip that theoretically could come up or something.
Could, yeah.
Like the one that I asked if you wanted to do.
Didn't I say yes? I thought the whole point. I was like,
I don't remember if you did say yes.
I thought that was the whole point.
I thought I asked you a question and you had not responded.
I can't remember if I answered or not. In my head, I said yes. I said, so you should know.
I think I offered to take your bike up the day before or to see if it fits. Or
we were talking about it measuring it in the back of the mule. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah,
but I assumed before that was I was going for the day or whatever. So
yeah. Okay, which day? I don't think you told me which day.
Can you say the 25th? 25th.
25th is the Friday, so let's not do a Friday because
26th then. Yeah. 26th.
Okay, I'm gonna put it in firm in my calendar.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go up the day before because this is at my parents' house. I'll stay overnight, but should I bring my son?
You can, sure. Why not?
As long as your mini bike will fit in the back.
So what we can do is I can also bring a piece of wood, like a plank.
Oh, okay.
And sit it under the tires. So even if the back of the tire sits out of the mule a little bit, it'll still be on the plank. And if you strap down one end, the other end will hold it up as well. So
yeah, I was also debating you could probably, because the mule has a cage behind the people in the back.
Yeah.
And you could strap the mini bike to those bars as well.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's also an option. Or we just tip the one wheel out the back of the mule.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there's ways to do it.
There's lots of ways to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring your son. I will probably bring one, if not both of mine. Just, we'll see how it goes. So.
Okay.
I'm sure they'll get a kick out of it. I know it's funny because I want to bring my oldest son for sure, but he's the one who's kind of like iffy about doing stuff outside. But my youngest, he's a little bit more work, but he's the one, he loves the mini bike. He loves it. So that's why I think he'll have more fun, but it'll be a long day for him. So I'm just kind of in between. Who should I
share my screen there?
Oh, let's have a look here.
So there on the mule, you can see that like bars at the back.
Yeah.
So you could strap the mini bike to there, just like tipped upward a little bit, and that would hold for sure. It's pretty strong bars.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just enough to keep it from tipping over, right? So
yeah. Yeah. And we're not hauling it anywhere. We're just hauling the mini bike the whole way. So I think it'll work pretty good.
Yeah. And we can trade off, and I'll drive mini bike, and then you can drive mini bike, and
maybe. But if you're bringing both kids, you're going to take the one on the bike and then the other on the bike kind of thing.
Yeah. And we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe me and Sean with one of your kids in between us because Sean's older.
Yeah. So Sean could probably drive the mini bike. He's big enough. So
he wouldn't want to. He can't even ride a bicycle.
You never know, man. Motorcycles speak to kids like you don't know sometimes.
No, it's a balance issue. He doesn't have the confidence, and he won't try.
It might be different if it's a bunch of guys around. All I'm saying, you know your son better than everybody. I'm not arguing that.
No, he'll start crying. I tell you now, if we pressured him to, he would probably just start crying.
Okay, well, I won't make him cry. I won't make him cry, but I'll ask him to try.
You better get ready to fix that mini bike because he's gonna crash into a tree or.
It's meant to be crashed, man. It's meant to be crashed. That's the one thing I don't want people to be afraid of. Like the whole point of it is like that is the point, is to get on and try it. Yeah. If you crash it, it's okay. It's meant for that. It's not meant to be a baby. It's not a motorcycle. I didn't spend, $5,000 on it.
Yeah.
So if it crashes, that's just an excuse to fix it. So
that's all right. Just me riding the mini bike's gonna make me want to buy one.
That's the point as well. I saw one. It's funny because you lost your job, and then like 4 days later, I saw a mini bike that was better than the one I bought, and I was gonna send it to you. I'm like, that's just mean. I'm like, it's just mean. I can't send it to him right now.
I'll sell my car for parts and go buy it because my car's not worth anything.
Perfect. See?
Can I take it to work and back?
Yes, you can.
Actually, 2 or maybe 3 of these jobs is work from home as well.
So you could drive it to work.
Yeah, one of them is ambiguous. They're not clear. It said work from home, but the head office is in town, and I've worked there before. So
yeah.
But yes, not having a car to drive to work might be doable.
Yeah.
And I told you about my brother's bike. He did the electric bike mod on.
We talked about it in the driveway, but I don't think on here. No.
Okay. So my oldest brother did an e-bike conversion on his mountain bike. Mm-hmm. He has a Da Vinci mountain bike, and he did the conversion with this kit from Golden Gears out of Toronto. And I forget who makes the kit. It's some Chinese brand, but it seems like a really decent kit and well supported. And he put this 1500 watt kit on.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So I took it for a bike ride while we were at the cottage, and it has 2 modes and 3 speeds within each mode.
Okay.
So it has like regular and sport mode, and then level 1, level 2, level 3 within each of those. I rode it on level 1 in just regular mode, and I was like, okay, that's like more assistance than I want. If I was going up a hill, sure, maybe I want a little bit more, but like on flat ground, it's like almost too easy to pedal. It made it like a cardio exercise.
Yeah.
No longer just riding.
No strength generating.
Yeah. Not pushing your muscles at all. Just cardio. You're just pedaling for the sake of pedaling at that point. But if you're trying to go fast, like say you need to get 10 kilometers,
Yeah.
It does make it sense to go faster and therefore use the other modes. But I don't know. I just don't know if I'd ever use it. But it would be pretty cool to do that instead of a car to get to work, or just to have, because we only need one car if I work from home.
If you work from home, yeah, then sell your Subaru and have an e-bike. Not
that anyone's gonna buy a Subaru with a leaking head gasket.
You'd be surprised, man. The Subaru people are crazy. All right.
Yeah.
I had a friend just buy a WRX that was complete, like the engine gone on it and everything else, and he's
but
just
it's
like,
a WRX.
Yes, it's different. Yeah, but
it's different altogether. It's like saying, "Oh, my Honda Civic is leaking," or my S2000.
Yeah, I know it's different, but at the same time, Subaru people buy Subarus for parts and things like that. Yeah. So, I mean, you have the Forester is essentially an Impreza, right? So,
yeah, but bigger. Yeah,
just a little bit bigger.
Yeah, same base chassis, but.
So.
Well, I was talking on the Polykill Discord. My name came up because people were talking about buying and selling and what's the best way to sell stuff. And TopSpot tagged me right away. Like, I think Derek might have the most experience with this. So I just did a brain dump because I was just about to do my interview. And then they kept talking. And I said, I used to have a podcast about, I said, I could talk about this for hours. In fact, I used to have a podcast called Dollar Dorks doing that. Exactly. And, then Blink asked me, what happened to Dollar Dorks? Well, I want to hear more Dollar Dorks. Get Dollar Dorks. We need more Dollar Dorks in the world. And I said, well, I have Not So Special, where we talk about some of the same things. And then, of course, TopSpot chimes in right away with, who can listen to a 3-hour podcast? And he says, I can, but it takes me weeks.
Perfect. That is the whole point.
Just consume all of their time.
Our podcast is for truck drivers and unemployed people. All right.
By truck drivers and unemployed people.
Exactly. We make a podcast for us, by us. See?
That's funny because I was just talking, I don't know, the day after I got let go, I got a message from Rocket Sauce about some Cartridge Club account stuff. And I told him that I got let go, and he's actually off work right now, if he still is. And he said me, him, and Kevin have to start a podcast about being unemployed.
I know. It's crazy.
Oh, and Sean as well. That's what he said.
Really?
P1.
Okay.
Yeah. Jeez. P1 was. I think he might be getting something now, but I don't know for sure. He talked about interviewing. He changed careers, so. But it'd be kind of cool because it would be like Sean changing careers from like submarine targeting systems to a programmer, and Kevin changing careers from broadcast television to a truck driver, which he's not doing anymore. And then me and Rocket Sauce both struggling with finding jobs in our existing careers. But yeah.
Man, it's a lot of it going around.
Yeah, I really should.
Which, by the way, I meant to text Kevin, but he's going for his. Well, he was going for his full AZ, right? Yes. He was full truck driver.
Yeah.
I was going to text him back or text him and be like, you don't have to do that. Just go for your DZ. You can still work local. You still drive a truck. You don't have to go to school and get scammed. Like, it's.
It's true. There. My dad has his DZ as well.
It's not as good money as a AZ driver, but it's a lot less BS too. So
yeah, you should.
But I know they
I would assume he thought of it.
Yeah, I would hope so. But I saw they just put another Retro Fandango up, but I haven't listened to it yet because they take forever to post the audio, and I'm an audio listener, so maybe he addresses the issue, and I just haven't got to it yet. So.
I don't know. That last episode, he seemed pretty clear that he wasn't doing anything.
Yeah. So
related to it anymore, but
we shall see.
We'll see. Yeah.
Speaking of moving collections, did you see Pam's video today from Cannot Be Tamed?
I saw it posted. She also chimed in on the Polykill Discord as well.
Did she? Okay.
But I didn't read it all because, like I said, I had an interview coming up.
Yeah.
So.
For the audio listeners and video listeners, she's also thinking of selling her video game collection. So that is also a common sentiment going around right now.
Yeah.
I should reach out to her as well and be like, hey, I know you want to sell. Not that I have enough money to buy her out, but.
Well, that's the other problem, right?
Yeah.
They were talking about Whatnot. the auction.
Oh, whatnot seems
site.
like such a pain in the butt.
But to someone like Pam, who already has a following, it might actually be a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Because she could probably actually make money doing that.
That's true. But then it's still going through prepping, shipping.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. And it's a lot to go through because you got to get verified to sell on there too, right? It's not just anybody can do it.
Yep. She says she took a stack of things to a store a few months back and they offered so little, less than half of what they were worth. She tried Facebook, sold one of her expensive things. Even a number I list got an annoying amount of lowball messages. So you might have luck actually making her a half sticker price option
for an everything. Yeah. But I'm no different than a store at that point, right? So,
but if you're giving her more than a store, because she said they gave her an offer of less than half.
Yeah. In the video,
she went to like somewhere in Toronto, ANC Games or something like that.
In the video today, she said the stores were giving her 50% of the value, basically.
Okay.
So I was like, that's about what I would be at. Maybe I could probably swing like 60% just to,
especially if she has
sweeten the deal a little bit,
as opposed to filler.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but then she also talked about going to like Barry Game Exchange and just selling there, which I think is
and she could.
That's a great idea. And I can't compete with what she's going to get if she's going to get full price.
No, for sure.
She should do that.
She might even do that for 1 or 2 swaps and then sell off the rest, right?
Yeah. And that would be the way to do. That would be the way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. If she wants to invest the time, that's all.
Yeah.
Not that she's ever going to listen to this. Someone might tell her.
Yeah.
Well, that whole story of the polykill was to get to Blink praised us for our very unique segment called the hot seat. He likes it.
Okay, good. Totally original. I'm glad that they liked it so much that they stole it from us and they're using it in their podcast.
I like that twist. It's good.
That's it. That's all I had to say. You didn't have any nicer things to say about us?
No.
Yeah. One can only hope, right?
Yeah. I said he was surprised that you edit the podcast.
I'm surprised to hear that. I'm surprised to hear that I edit the podcast.
Come on, you add a little bumper to the beginning.
That's true, but
that's called editing.
That is editing. Yeah.
Edit it. It's the reason Dollar Dorks doesn't come back. Well, I don't even want to record it because I don't have time for that either. But I mean, now I have time. I basically have a full-time job searching for a job.
Yeah. Man.
So my wife's headphones went through the washer and dryer.
Hey, I know what that's like.
Just the headphones, not the case.
Okay, yeah.
They must have been in her coat pocket.
That's what mine did. Mine did the exact same thing.
Yeah. So as soon as that happened, I laughed and was a little sad. You didn't learn from your lesson, but yeah.
Were they good ones or are they okay ones?
They were $35 Hello Kitty ones from Shoppers
okay.
Drug Mart.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's easier to swallow than
Hello Kitty, but
yeah.
And she's had them for 2 years, and they were a problem since they were new. They never worked quite right.
So this is a blessing in disguise. They're gone now.
Yeah. She has one of the free pairs that I got.
I was gonna say, give her some true frees, and
she has a pair. Yeah.
Yeah.
She has the white ones. They're the white ones that are hard plastic in your ear.
Yeah.
There's no rubber.
No rubber.
I gave her those because those are uncomfortable in my ear. I like rubber ones because it's just more comfortable.
Speaking of that, I got my second pair of True Free headphones to review. They're also the hard plastic ones, and I do not like the hard plastic.
My newest ones are right there.
Yeah, those are the T2s.
I think so. Yes.
So the ones I got, I have those ones. I prefer those ones. I got the T3s.
Okay.
It's an orange pair, supposedly like noise canceling. I don't hear the noise canceling.
Oh,
interesting. They says noise canceling on the email that they sent me, but when I hear it, when I look at the box, it says phone call mic background isolation or whatever. Basically noise suppression. It's noise suppression. Noise suppression for mic or whatever it is.
So suppression should be active still.
Yeah.
should still mean it does some actual cancellation.
But it's mic noise suppression.
Yes.
So it's for the other
only
person.
For the other person.
Not me.
That's good.
Anyways, I listen to them for a shift at work. I'm just so afraid, like when I move, they're gonna fall out.
Yes, exactly. Right.
So, whatever. I'll have them as a spare. So
the one older pair I have fit in so good that I can actually sleep with them in, and they stay in all night.
Yeah,
half the time.
That'd be nice.
Because they have the rubber, but then they also have a little rubber, like a little
wingtip
thing. Wingtip, exactly. And those ones stay in so good. The only problem with those ones is they're a button press. Mm-hmm. So when it's in your ear, you push a button. All you hear and feel is
click,
like
click, click.
Earwax crap. Like if your ears are all sweaty from mowing lawn or in the shower or anything like that, they're terrible. But they are the only ones that aren't touched, so they work in the shower because you're not constantly getting buttons pressed by water.
You're the only person I know who keeps using in the shower as a possible use case for earbuds.
I would like to listen to my podcast in the shower.
Well, just get a speaker and put it on the counter. Why do you have to?
You're sleeping in the 2 rooms next to the shower.
Who cares? They're all.
You can't really hear the shower or hear a speaker in the shower unless the speaker's in there too. And I do have one waterproof one that I bought for that purpose, but
that would be a better use case than earbuds, in my opinion. That's funny. Anyways, so yeah, I have the T2s, the T3s. I prefer the T2s. I gotta wait and see what the next ones will be. I want ones that stick. Even the T2s don't fit snug enough for my liking. I'd like them to be a little bit tighter.
Yeah.
But
did you try a different size ear rubber?
I haven't yet.
3 different sizes.
I should just do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if they're loose, it might be that you're using too small of a size. Yeah. Or it could be they're not going in far enough because you're using too big of a size.
It's definitely so I'm usually like the mid-size one.
Yeah, which is what they come with.
Everything.
Right?
Yeah. And everything's been fine. But this one I probably have to just size up.
Yeah, it's worth trying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I watched some movies and TV shows.
Strange, so did I.
It's after my first week and a half being unemployed looking for jobs, I thought, why don't I have a movie playing over the other monitor?
Just for all day, every day.
I need to do that, but I just keep getting distracted. And then I'll put on a VHS recording, or I'll start playing with the VHS recordings and freeing up hard drive space so I can get more recordings, because I picked up more tapes the other day.
Of course you did. God.
It had been a good month since I got any tapes. And then these popped up on the Facebook group in KW for free, 110 tapes. I'm just like, sure, why not? So I've been going through those. I'm like, what, a third of the way through? Something like that. Yeah.
Jeez.
It's fun. I like it. It's good.
All right. So I hope you got a fat stack of movies and TV here then.
Not fat, but enough.
Okay.
So one of them I watched off of VHS tape. Why did I even pick that one? I don't remember anymore. I think the commercials were interesting. No, I don't remember. Anyway, it was the commercials. I watched The Tommyknockers.
Never heard of it.
Stephen King miniseries. So it's a 2-part miniseries. It's basically like 2 short movies, but it has Jimmy Smits, Marg Heldenberger.
Nope.
You'd know her if you saw her. What's she from again? From CSI. Remember the first CSI?
Nope.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyway, the main lady from that, she's a lot younger in this. And then Jimmy Smits is from NYPD Blue.
Nope.
You don't know anything.
No, I don't.
Everything.
I watch movies, not TV. What are you talking about?
He was. I don't know. These people you should know.
These people. Yeah.
Like I'm going to share my screen with you to show you these people, because I can't believe you don't know them. You're going to be like, oh, that guy.
Yeah, I probably like maybe
that guy. Okay, there's the guy. You know this guy?
Oh yeah, I know that guy.
You recognize that guy?
Yeah.
And then I'm showing you the whole list here, but let's just bring up her. So she's the one from CSI. If you don't know,
I'm only seeing Jimmy Smits. That's it.
Oh, okay. It did not change my window, which is actually kind of a good thing. View tab, google.com. It automatically went to the other tab. Let's try that. Nope, that's going to the tab you have. Interesting. So you can present a tab that's not even your active tab. I didn't realize it did that. Share. Let's go back. This girl.
I guess I know her face, yeah, but I don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then the third person you might know from that movie is Tracy Lords.
Nope.
Oh, she's like a B movie actress, like bombshell B movie actress. Anyway, she doesn't really fit with those other two, which is why it would have been a big shock for anybody who knows who any of those people are to be like, oh, those two and her. Anyway, it was a terrible, terrible movie / miniseries. The story was bad. The special effects were like terrible, even though throughout the movie it would have like news segment and they'd say, and keep watching after the movie or after the miniseries for like a behind the scenes of how the special effects were done. Like, these special effects are terrible. This is 1993 and they're still terrible.
This sounds very reminiscent. This sounds very like on par for most Stephen King adaptations.
Is it?
Okay. Most of them are terrible.
Okay. I didn't know because I don't watch that kind of stuff normally. It's like, it was just a sci-fi thriller.
I've only seen very few, and everyone I've seen has been pretty garbage. So
I pretty much watched it because of the commercials.
Okay, well,
and I had it on VHS. So
yeah, that makes sense. As long as you
and I watched it through Plex on my recorded VHS.
Even better.
Speaking of which, the guy in Toronto that I've been trading tapes with and selling tapes to he messaged me and said, "Do you use Plex?" I'm like, "Yes." So he shared with me his movie collection, but also his VHS recordings collection.
Oh, wow.
2 folders. One of them is called VHS Hell. And he has so much stuff on there. It's so fun to just scroll through. Like instructional video from using Quicken, an accounting program on DOS.
Jeez.
In like 1990.
Man.
It's pretty great. And then like Sweating to the Oldies. And this flower arrangement instructional video my wife and I were watching on there. And like tons of exercising, jazzercise, Tai Bo, Tai Chi, like so many great freaking videos on there, let alone TV shows and movies. Zumba, I don't know. There's tons of stuff on there that's just ridiculously great. Man. I really need to just scroll through that for like a day or two. I did scroll through it all, but I skimmed through a lot of religious cartoons as well.
Oh, yeah. My bread and butter.
Right up your alley. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what this one is, but there's a lot of really weird ones, really good ones. But anyway, so we added each other in Plex and been checking out his stuff. So you have anything you've watched? I've got 2, 4, 6, 7 more things.
So okay, I might be on par. Be on par with you. How
many of them are Cage things?
A couple. I got a couple.
I've got one Cage.
I did my homework. All right.
I didn't want to pass it too far.
I watched a movie called, I don't know did I talk about this movie, Plane, with Gerard Butler?
I don't remember. That sounds familiar.
Okay. I watched Plane. He's a
really terrible freaking name.
Yeah, it is. It's super generic. It's not a bad movie though. It's decent. He's just a pilot who gets forced down in a storm to land on an island. There are rebels on the island, and they come to take the people on the plane hostage. And then while he's out looking for help, he comes back to see his passengers getting taken away, and he's got to save them with the help of an ex-convict who came along to help.
Michael Coulter guy?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Decent movie. Fun. If you just wanted a generic... It's funny how Gerard Butler was like the top of the world actor for a while. Like he was an A-lister. He's kind of working his way to like, he's kind of like B-list now. Like he doesn't get the hot action movies, summer blockbusters anymore.
He's aspiring to be Nicolas Cage.
He's like, I don't think he's at Nicolas Cage level yet. I think he's at like Jason.
To be.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's more like Jason Statham at this point.
I can see that. Okay.
Yeah. Like he's kind of just doing the same movie continually. Different variations
this year.
Yeah, just variations of the same thing.
Before that, he had 3 movies in 2019, 3 movies in 2018. Jeez.
Yeah.
And I've never heard of any of them.
Sounds about right.
Oh, to be fair, one's How to Train Your Dragon. So, I mean.
Yeah, this isn't.
Oh, 2 of them. In the same year. What?
One could have been, was they both movies or one TV?
Movie.
Yeah, I was going to say
one's
TV.
One's a TV movie, the other one's a movie. Anyway, I don't need to keep looking up Jared Butler.
I mean, you can. But, yeah. Yeah, so that's it.
I also watched Hellboy Animated, because we talked about that last time.
Okay, yeah.
Blood and Iron is the one that I watched. I don't know if there's multiple. I think there is. I don't know. Anyway, it has Ron Perlman as the voice of Hellboy.
Okay.
And good. I think a couple others are the originals, but I don't know for sure who. And Guillermo del Toro is one of the 2 directors, I think.
Yeah, because that's kind of his. That was his series for a while there.
Yeah. So anyway, it was decent. I mean, it's pretty much what you expect of a Hellboy animated. I kind of actually prefer animated for Hellboy in a way because they can do more extravagant stuff and bigger stuff without it having to be a huge, big budget movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was neat. I liked it.
Cool.
Especially watching it kind of on a whim because we just briefly mentioned it. I added it to my download list to see if it pops up, and it just downloaded automatically. So yeah, sure.
Oh, there you go. By the way, speaking on that, do you remember us talking about the Aladdin animated show, Disney show?
Yeah.
And
you're watching with your boys?
I haven't watched it yet, but I found the whole thing and I've downloaded it. It's on my Plex.
Oh, okay.
Way, so.
Okay. I think I saw that on there.
Okay.
And I had some of it. I don't remember. Anyway,
I found the full series, so it's all there.
That's cool.
I haven't watched it yet, but I have fond memories of watching that show when I was younger.
I do too, for sure. I really should watch it because of that.
I don't know if I mentioned this either, but not last month, the month before, I went to go see, or maybe it was last month. I think it was last month and I forgot to mention it last month. We'll go with that. I went to go watch Across the Spider-Verse in theaters.
Oh.
And that movie is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Okay. We have that on Plex as well. And my son's watched it, but I have not.
Oh, okay. I think Into the Spider-Verse, like the one previous, is pretty well the best Spider-Man movie ever made.
Okay.
This one tops it in terms of...
Oh, okay.
In terms of visual style, I wanted to find a 3D showing so bad, but could not find any local 3D showings.
Really?
They were 3D showings there was select theaters in Toronto that had it.
That's weird.
Yeah. Considering how much of this art style pops so much.
And the last one was so popular, you'd think.
Yeah.
Go all out.
Yeah. So, even I'm trying to find the 3D Blu-ray of the first movie, and that's almost impossible to find, or not impossible to find, is expensive. Okay. So
hard to find a deal on then.
Yeah. I found the bootleg.
Yes. I probably should have told you Beat Goes On had a sale a while ago. I didn't buy anything, but it was it was an online only 40%, 30% off everything, and then an in-store 40% off everything. 2 weeks later after that. I forgot to tell you. I think I sent it to my brother-in-law, but I forgot to send it to you. But
yeah. So I gotta watch it because I gotta get Bill his last Lord of the Rings 3D Blu-ray that he needs. So I know he found one of them. So he's got 2. He's got 1 left.
I really like the hunt. I really like trying to find something to help people find what they need anyway. So I get it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's Bill too.
It's Bill. He'll do it. Yeah. Anyways, Across the Spider-Verse, fantastic. It is. I'm going to use this word. It's a bad connotation, but take it in the good way that I mean it. It is the most concentrated version of visual diarrhea that I've ever seen.
That's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
It sounds like a bad thing.
It does. That's what I'm trying to say. It sounds bad, but I have no other way to describe it. There is so much happening on screen that I cannot keep track of it.
So it's not something to watch in the background.
No, you full attention. Yeah. Watch it on the biggest screen you can. Turn the lights off, and just focus. It is so good. But yeah, there's so many different art styles, animation styles, animation, like different characters have different frame rates that they're animated at.
Oh, okay.
So it's
cinematic.
Cinematic, yeah. And you'll get a kick out of it too. There's a lot of cameos, and one of them just made the whole theater just erupt in laughter, and it's great. And even some that were cut that I heard later that were, so one of them, there's supposed to be like a Spider-Man, like a toy Spider-Man being controlled by a human hand that was supposed to come out and be like, oh, but they cut that one. There's another one in there that's also pretty good though.
Huh. Well, if you want me to continue going, because you took a drink, so I figured I should go quickly.
Yep, that's fine.
And fill the gap.
Go quick, all right? I got a lot to do here.
Anybody listening, it sounds like I was just cutting you off. But anyway, last night, this is ridiculous, but we watched Blue's Big City Adventure.
Oh.
For Blue's Clues. Mm-hmm. And it has the guy who's currently the guy on the show. What the heck was his name again? Well, they only said it like 5,000 times, and I can't remember his name now. What? I don't even. Oh, Josh. Josh is the guy who's the host.
You had a hard time remembering Josh, really?
I did. And then, because I kept thinking of Steve. Anyway, then Steve was on it, the original Blue's Clues guy.
Okay.
And then there's a guy in between them. I forget his name, but he was on there as well. And then at one point, they have a cameo with. Oh my God, I just had his name up here. Now I forget it. With Alex Winter.
Okay, yeah.
He plays a cab driver on the movie, and he says the same things as Steve says, because on an episode of Robot Chicken, he played Steve on Blue's Clues.
Really?
They tied that in. That's pretty cool.
That's funny.
Were all like, okay, I get who that guy is. The guy in the middle, I didn't know. And then all of a sudden they have Alex Winter on there. And I'm like, why, how does he tie into this? So I Googled it, and people have Googled it before because it was a common search. And it was, he played him on like one Robot Chicken or something.
That's funny.
Pretty great. And it was just a fun movie. Like if you like Blue's Clues at all, or your kids do, even if they're too old for it now, they're going to like it. My son's 10 and he loved it. We haven't
gotten to the Blue's Clues in this house, so
yeah, you should though. I saw it on my Plex too.
Okay,
I was thinking of deleting it because they're almost too old, but
not quite.
Get kids to watch it. It's a good show. Like education wise, it's good, and yeah.
I should. This is a good time to talk about it. I actually had to intervene with my son because he got so addicted to YouTube videos watching Let's Plays.
Oh God.
And I had to be that dad to step in and be like, you are no longer allowed to watch these videos.
We've done that. We did that years ago. My son watched a couple of them that I chose for him, and he just kept getting obsessed with watching them. I'm like, no, you don't need to be watching other people play. Just play the game yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather you get the knowledge and the experience and the lessons of playing the game.
Yeah.
Rather than watching someone else do it, who's probably yelling and screaming and being a fool.
and that's the thing,
is it's hard to find someone who does Let's Plays that isn't an idiot.
That's the thing. And so that he was starting to use words that were just like, I don't think that you don't know what that word means. Gotcha. And you're just throwing it around as if it's whatever. And I'm like, you have to be careful with what you're saying.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we basically said, he asks if he can watch shows. And I have to say, you can watch shows, but you can't watch YouTube. Yep. You can watch Disney Plus, you can watch Netflix, you can watch whatever, but you cannot watch YouTube. And so we had to cut it off. Sometimes he'll watch Minecraft videos where they're not talking, like they're just building something. We let those go for a little while, but he can't sit there all day and watch those. Not too sure,
yeah.
We're trying to get him to like watch something that's like, has a story, has a point, a moral, teach you something.
Yeah.
Not just watch people build stuff on Minecraft or Roblox. We've cut off my Roblox completely. He's not allowed to watch that at all.
Yeah, so. I wouldn't. It's not great. And the people who run the company are also terrible, and kids getting exploited for making games on it and getting pennies on the dollar or less, even less.
So yeah.
Although it's a fun game and there's some education there, but it's just toxic.
Yeah. So I had to be that parent.
Mm-hmm. I was already that parent.
Sucks. My son was not happy with me for several days. But
He'll get over it. He'll find a new obsession.
I know.
So. My son, my son really wanted Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Mm-hmm. He's trying to convince you to buy it, I heard. Yeah.
Yes, several times. So I saw a deal pop up on it for $60. This is like over a month ago.
Yeah.
So I picked it up for $60 and I just threw it in the cupboard or in an area where I store my wife's Christmas or birthday presents. And I told my wife, and then my son's birthday was coming up, and I told him just before his birthday. Oh no, I was gonna tell him after his birthday, after he got money for his birthday. And I popped the game in one of our Switches to check it.
Yeah.
And of course, after you remove the game,
the icon still stays there.
The icon still stays there. I checked it. I swear I pulled it out and the icon wasn't there. But the next day when he turned it on, it was there, or the 2 days later. So he saw that and said, someone was playing it. Who was playing it? How are they playing this on their Switch? So then I told him that I got the deal and I'm holding on to it for him for his birthday. His birthday was like the next day anyway.
Yeah.
But he was very excited, and then he saved his money and he got enough money from birthday that he bought the game off me, and he's been playing it like crazy. So I also was like, damn it, now I'm missing out. Let me see if I can do what I want to do, which is put it on the Steam Deck and then get cheats.
Yeah. Okay.
So I installed the emulator on my PC, on my desktop PC, and found all the cheats I would want and save game modifications.
Yeah.
And now I am invincible. I can jump super high. I can fly if I want to at any time. Just take off and start flying, and I can run faster and hit people with 30 times the damage and give myself any item I want.
Just broken
the world.
Yeah.
Complete every tower, complete every shrine. So yeah, that's fun.
So now you're having fun now.
Yeah. The next thing I need to do is set up syncing of my save game between my PC and my Steam Deck.
Okay.
Because if I could put them on like Google Cloud and have it, or Google Drive and have it sync, that'd be freaking great.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I haven't done.
Can you run Switch games on your Steam Deck?
Yes. Yeah. So I have played it on the Steam Deck. When we were at the cottage, I took it with me. It doesn't look as good as on the PC, because at the PC I'm running it like full resolution plus extra graphical detail. So it runs awesome on the PC, and I'm playing it with a controller.
Perfect.
Because you don't need mouse and keyboard for
not for those games. They're designed for controller, right? So
yeah. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. Especially cheats. If it didn't have cheats, I would have given up on the game long ago. My weapons don't break.
Mm-hmm. I think you should just play the game. Turn on your weapons don't break. That's fine. Whatever. That's the really thing that hates you.
No, everything.
And then just no. I'm saying turn it off, right? So they don't break. I get that.
Okay. Yeah.
And then just play the rest of the game, because that's the main thing that you don't like, right?
Yeah, but everything else, why not? So I have invincibility, ignore hits. Oh no, I just launched the game on my PC by mistake. I need to go to here, stop. I should have right-clicked it and listed the cheats. But anyway, there's like over 20 cheats. Plus I modified the save file, which is the bigger change, really. Yeah, like invincibility, infinite health, infinite stamina, infinite battery, infinite horse stamina, stealth mode, so enemies don't see me unless I attack them, ignore fall damage and reaction, so I can jump from the highest height and fall straight down, doesn't matter. Perfect Goldilocks thermometer, so never get hot, never get cold. Ignore gloom effects, which I don't know what it does for sure. Oh, gloom, yes.
Gloom, yeah.
Gloom doesn't hurt me. Ignore paralysis and slow, ignore freezing and cold. Ignore fire and flame effects, instant companion skills, no stamina cost for weapon charge, faster weapon charge. Okay, we're not even halfway. Anyway, there's a lot.
Oh, jeez.
It's pretty great. I like it a lot. It's fun that way. It's very fun. I've now passed my son in the game story mode. There's one area he hasn't done yet, but I've done more than he did on a different thing. So, yeah.
I haven't played it since pretty much the last time we talked, and that's just because we've been so busy doing stuff. I've been, fixing trailers and camping and all this other stuff. Being sick, playing baseball. Yeah,
baseball. Who needs that? I did go ride my bike a couple times.
Hey, well, there you go.
Not since I was laid off, but before I was laid off in the last month, I think. I rode it a couple times. I did a couple. Yeah. So I need to go do that again. I meant to do it yesterday, and then it rained out of nowhere when it wasn't supposed to. I think I was going to do it in the morning before it got too hot. I'm like, screw it. I got no work to do. I'll just go do it. So I went to do it, and then it was raining. So
yeah,
didn't happen. Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow. It'll be nice tomorrow. It's supposed to be nice. So, I went to the movie theater again last week. And do you want to take a guess? Take a guess at what I saw?
What's in the theater? I don't even know. I don't pay attention to that stuff.
All right. I went to go see the new Indiana Jones movie.
I should have known.
Dial of Destiny. And you know what? It's pretty damn good. I had a lot of fun watching that movie.
Okay.
I like Indiana Jones, and it was funny. Like, I forgot this movie was coming out this year because I just watched the movie, all the movies, a couple months ago? I talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah, you did.
So everything was fresh in my mind. So when they're doing the references to the other movies, I was like, oh, I get that now. Or not that I get it, but like, I remember seeing recent, that. Yeah, so recent. So it was really good. You have to put it's hard for you to do, Derek, but put your science brain, your logical brain just to the side a little bit and just go into the movie and have some fun and realize, hey, not everything's going to make sense. They're going to jump the shark at some point, because they do in every Indiana Jones movie, they do it. So if you can,
a literal shark is going to jump.
Literal shark. Yes.
Yeah.
So it gets a little fantastical, but so does every other Indiana Jones movie gets fantastical or magical or spiritual in some way. And so it's just, but it was just a fun movie, and it was fun. I took my parents to go see it just because they introduced me to the series, and it's kind of like we've continued on going to see everything together. So
the student becomes the master. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We walk out of the theater and I'm telling them, oh, did you see this? That was like an homage to the first movie when they did that. And they're just like, shut up, Josh. We don't care.
Never invite us to a movie again. Yeah, I need to go back and watch the Indiana Jones movies, all except Crystal Skull again, because I haven't seen them in so long. And I don't know if I've ever seen any one of them start to finish.
I think we talked about this last time.
Yeah,
when I was watching the movies, but yes, you absolutely should watch them. So they are just.
I did watch European Vacation on the VHS recording.
Oh, good.
Did I finish it? I must have, because I think something else came afterward. Yeah, but that was Indiana Jones was before it, and it was cut off, or I didn't. I think I started partway.
I think you started to. Yeah,
the tape was any good.
It's just it's fun to see a good. Quote unquote old-fashioned adventure movie, right? It's this.
Yeah.
It's not a world-ending plot. There's a potential that it could, but it's not the clashing of titans or whatever. So now I'm gonna bring this up. It's not really it's kind of a spoiler, but not really. The plan is. The main bad guy's plan is to go back in time and help develop the H-bomb or whatever, the nuclear bomb, earlier to help the Nazis win the war. Basically, that is the plan, right? And I bring that up only because this is a common element you'll see throughout my movies, almost unintentionally, as you'll see later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I swear I just watched something about the H-bomb. I think it was a YouTube video.
There's a lot of H-bomb stuff going on right now. Just
What's going on? Is it something else you watched?
Something else I watched. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I literally just watched H-bomb videos about why. Oh, it was why is Hiroshima not a toxic place to live in?
Okay.
Basically came down to the bomb going off above ground level was basically the reason.
Yeah. I think I saw that video as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I don't know if I don't think I watched it, but I saw the thumbnail, the suggested.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never watched that guy before that it was, but anyway, I watched The Machine.
Ah, Bert Kreischer.
Yes.
Yeah.
That movie.
That was based on of a stand-up bit.
Yeah, exactly. And
isn't Mark Hamill in that?
Mark Hamill plays his father.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mark Hamill does a good job in it. I'm surprised.
Does he? Okay.
I'm happy. Yeah, he did a good job. The movie itself is a pretty good, entertaining story or adventure. It's good.
Does Bert Kreischer have his shirt on at any point in that movie?
He has his shirt on most of the movie.
Does he? Okay.
But he definitely has it off.
Okay. Because he does. I don't know if you've seen any of stand-up stuff, but
yeah,
that's his bit, right? Is he always does no shirt? So
yeah, yep. I think most of the movie his shirt is on. From what I recall, I was surprised it wasn't off much, but I think a lot of it was basically him seeing Russians saying, "You're not the machine." That was like a third of the movie.
That's funny.
Yeah. Jeez. I don't have a lot more to say. It was fun. Go watch it.
Is that on your Plex?
Literally, yeah, it is.
Okay.
If you like, I don't know, like it's similar to a John Wick type, but like where everything that can go wrong does kind of.
Okay.
And when things go right, it's not what you expect.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Sounds entertaining. I was not. What did I say? I haven't been turned off of it. I'm not a huge fan of Bert Kreischer, but I wasn't when I saw the trailer. I'm like, it didn't make me not want to watch the movie. So
yeah, I'm not a huge fan of his or anything like that. I watched that skit about that part, and
I think everybody has, yeah.
But I've never watched. I don't think I've watched much other of his stuff. I know I have a coworker where I was working that was a big fan of his, so he sent me stuff. So yeah. Another one.
So after I saw Indiana Jones on Tuesday. On Thursday, I was like, hey,
I should go to a movie theater.
I should go to the movie theater because
I haven't spent enough money yet this month.
I haven't. I was like, we should go see Mission Impossible. Oppenheimer comes out on Friday. God. I was like, we need to go see Mission Impossible on the big screen before Oppenheimer kicks it out of theaters. Out of the big screens. Like, okay. So I put it out to a couple friends.
I know nothing about Oppenheimer either, but
well, this is why all the nuclear stuff is happening right now.
Oh, okay. Well, I also have no interest in Mission Impossible either.
Okay, well, that's fine. Mission Impossibles are good. This one is also good.
Debatable. There's a suspension of disbelief. That's
of course, but it's an action movie. I'm not
too much.
I'm just going to watch Tom Cruise throw himself off a cliff.
I want to see Tom Cruise at all.
The man's a movie star, all right? Anyways, it was a last minute. Hey, let's go see this. I had one friend said he would want to come, and I had a voucher, and I wanted to do the D box. Mm-hmm. The one that were, the seats move, whatever.
4-dimensional.
The 4D, yeah. My friend is not a D-Box user. He's like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm like, listen, all right, here's my plan. We'll use this. I'll pay for the upgrade. You can shut your D-Box off because I'm not paying any money.
Yeah.
If I have the voucher, all I'm paying is for the upgrade, and that upgrade would be the equivalent of a ticket anyway. Sure. I'm not, and then I get snacks with that. You buy your own snacks. Everybody's happy. He's like, sure. So we did that. I turned mine all the way up to max. He had his off. He had it on like one step for the beginning.
Yeah.
As soon as it started to move, he was like, nah, shut it off. So I proceeded to spend the rest of the movie. Anytime it slowed down, it got a little quiet. I'd reach over and like turn his up just one or two clicks. I just pissed it off for the whole movie. And that movie is violent. Like in terms of D-Box stuff, it is violent. Because they're driving in like Italy on the old cobblestone roads, and so the whole seat is just like the whole time they're driving around. It is, not, and then they crash, and the whole seat's just like throwing you around. Yeah, it's fun.
Enjoyable.
It was fun. I enjoyed it.
I like the idea of it, but the execution, actually doing it, I'd be like, nah, this is too much. I can't focus on the movie. I'm being pulled out of the movie.
But I didn't even care about because I'm not there. It's Mission Impossible. I'm just there to have fun. So I'm not invested in it. Also, nuclear overtones. Hey, who would have thought? Undertones, overtones, nuclear. What's your next movie? Does it come in Atomic?
Atomic Pink.
Yay, Barbie! Did you go to theaters?
Just watching Barbie upstairs. No, not the theaters.
That's funny you say that.
Cam quality rip.
My wife went to go see Barbie on Monday, and then she just went to go see it again tonight in theaters. So.
Yeah. It was fun. I mean, we watched it. The kids liked it. My wife liked it. It was fun to have the references and stuff. Yeah. I don't have much else to say. Ryan Gosling looked weird. Like, I don't know if he's so ripped that it looked fake, and I think that's what he was going for.
Yeah, because he's supposed to look like a toy, right? Yeah.
I
think he's perfect. I think there's perfect casting in that movie. I haven't seen it, but from what I've seen, it looks very perfectly cast.
I think so. Yeah, especially the main guy.
I'm a fan of the Gosling as well, so
I keep seeing memes about Ryan Gosling saying he might be Ken now, but don't forget back in the 90s when he was in the football movie and he was like a terrible something, or he threw the game or something like that.
Yeah.
I forget what movie it was, but I keep seeing that meme over and over again. The Replacements? No, I don't think it was Replacements.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, maybe the Replacements.
Maybe it was. Anyway, he's screwed up the game. Everybody just keeps blaming him. It's pretty funny because it's so irrelevant, but it's a hilarious reference.
That's funny.
Anyway, you got more. I've got 4 more things.
Well, then I was sick over the weekend, so I was like, I'm going to watch a movie that I already kind of know, so I can just sit back and not have to focus and just focus on being sick, that kind of thing. So I watched The Abyss, James Cameron's The Abyss. I thought you would appreciate this because it's submarine, and you're talking about how you're obsessed with the whole like submersible incident last month. I'm like, he would like this. Yeah. Guess what? Also, nuclear overtones. They're chasing a nuclear sub. They're chasing warheads that have fell into the ocean floor. Yay!
I've never seen that one. I've always meant to.
You should watch it.
I don't usually care about ocean stuff, but with the technology involved with the submersible, that's what I was angle I was interested in.
Yeah. This is cool. I like it because it's this is like an underwater oil drilling rig.
Okay.
And then they are basically commandeered by the U.S. Navy to go and chase down a nuclear sub that crashed.
Okay.
And they got to go and figure out what happened.
I'll watch it sometime.
You should. Add it to your list.
Everything else. Actually, I should probably actually check my list and see if it's actually on the list, because it may not be if I haven't come across it yet. 1989. It is not already in my list. Now it is. So I yesterday or today watched, I think it was yesterday, Willow, 1988 Willow. I always meant to for so long. And
were you watching this on MyPlex? I think I saw.
Maybe if you have it, I probably did.
I think I did. Yeah,
I thought I had it, but maybe I don't.
I think I did see you watching it on MyPlex. Someone was watching Willow on MyPlex. It might have been you.
It's probably me. Okay. I can't see anyone else happen to watch Willow at the same time. So anyway, Warwick Davis, I'd seen him on Life's Too Short forever ago and thought,
Life's Too Short is so good.
Probably go watch that. Yeah. And Val Kilmer was just so weird at the beginning. I was really expecting something else from him, but it turned more to what I would expect later on. But it was a fun movie. And I noticed that there was something he was talking about, something that was put on Disney Plus and removed within like 4 weeks. And I forget what it was, but Willow, the TV show, was another one mentioned that was like, oh, that's considered a loss. I forget what the other one was, though. There was something else on Disney Plus that was removed like so quickly that no one really got a chance to check it out.
I can't believe that they pulled that after the amount it would have cost to put that up. Why not just leave it on there? Yeah. Well, isn't Disney Plus is basically Disney? They don't make money on Disney. Don't they lose money on Disney Plus?
I can't imagine they lose money unless they do it just for the books.
Because they're not getting advertising for it. They're not.
But it's subscription based.
I don't think they're making enough. I think it's too cheap.
But they're making this stuff anyway, so as long as they're not negating DVD sales, they're making money, essentially, right?
Yeah, I think, but that's what they are doing, is they are negating sales because you can just buy it, and they're releasing stuff like right away on Disney Plus.
But they aren't, like, Elemental's not there yet.
That's true.
I've checked, and the trailer's there. You search for it, and it's just, here's the trailer.
It's still in theaters, but as soon as it's out of theaters, it'll be on Disney Plus.
Still in theaters? Okay, I wasn't sure. I hadn't looked it up to see. So. Turner and Hooch they removed.
Dang it.
Mighty Ducks Game Changers, that's a new one, isn't it? I'm pretty sure.
Maybe.
Because it's not 1, 2, or 3. Marvel's Project Hero, that might have been the one. The World According to Jeff Goldblum they removed. Come on.
Yeah. This is why you have to download all your shows now. That's why you can't trust the streaming services to keep it for you.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was that I was going to watch that was removed off of it. But either way, I came across that. It's a pretty big list of stuff removed. You should go look it up if you care.
Should.
Yeah, so Willow, and eventually I got to get to the show because it's on Plex.
Yeah, I need to watch the movie first as well.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No, I haven't seen it. It's been one of those ones that's like
so
in the pantheon of like I need to watch it, but
okay. The acting starts off very rough.
And I've seen the beginning, and I'm just like, I'm not ready for this, and I usually turn it off because I'm like,
I don't know whether I just started ignoring it or if they got better. I feel like they got better.
Okay.
Like Warwick Davis himself, I feel like got better throughout the movie.
Okay.
And that would make sense, but
you
never know how they shot the movie in what order.
In what sequential order, yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty rough at the beginning, like painfully rough.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right. I watched a movie that I used to watch all the time when I was a kid. Again, this was kind of like, this was my, I'm feeling sick, but I should still be doing some stuff. So like I'd be doing dishes watching this or laying on the couch watching. In between whatever, I didn't watch it all in one sitting. It was just kind of like over the period of the day I watched it. And it's a Steven Seagal movie. So right away, expectations are low. Also starring Ja Rule. So, yeah, even better. It's a movie called Half Past Dead. Half Past Dead.
I've heard of it.
You know what? For a Steven Seagal movie, it ain't bad. I still think it's pretty good. A lot better than some of the other ones I've seen. So, basically, he's an undercover FBI agent trying to get in good with the gang. The guy he's trying to get close to gets busted, so he's got to go into prison, into the new Alcatraz, and be part, and basically buddy up with this guy in prison. While he's there, a
movie you used to watch.
Yes,
often.
A lot. I had the VHS up until like 2 years ago, when I got rid of all of my VHS tapes, and this was the one that I couldn't find a digital file for. I'm like, whatever. And then I saw it pop up on my, when I download torrents, I saw it pop there. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's there. And so I downloaded it.
Oh my God.
And watched it pretty much the same day. So anyways, while they're there, there's an execution happening. The guy who's being executed stole a bunch of gold bullion. And so people break into the prison to get him, to save him and get him to tell them where the gold is. And he's sworn not to tell anybody. There's also the U.S. judge that's there who gets taken hostage. So now, and it's on Alcatraz. And so now it's up to Steven Seagal and Ja Rule to take out these criminals who have broken into prison and get them out and save the judge. And yeah, it's fun. It's stupid. It's not good, but I like it. It's for Steven Seagal.
I like all of it, but Steven Seagal, honestly, I'm kind of over him. I used to like him when I was a kid, and now he just sounds like a piece of work.
Oh, he's an asshole now. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But this was 2002, so
yeah,
take it for what it is. If you want just a dumb thing that you kind of have to pay attention to.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, speaking of kind of dumb but still fun, my wife and I have been watching the TV show Powerless.
Okay.
From DC. It's basically this company or this group of people who work for Wayne Enterprises, creating like anti-superhero, anti-villain things, like gadgets and stuff.
Okay.
And Alan Tudyk is their
your favorite guy.
boss. Yep. And then Vanessa Hudgens is the main character, and Danny Pudi Pudi from Community.
Okay.
Abed
from
Community. He's in it as well. And then this Ron Funches.
He looks Ron Funches. Yeah. I know him.
I don't know what he's from, but
he's in Trolls. He's one of the Trolls.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it says Copper. He's in Trolls. He's also showing him as part of Harley Quinn as well.
Possibly, yeah. I know him from he comes on was it Giant Bomb? He came on Giant Bomb a couple times. He has a very unique voice. He has a very unique voice.
The shark on Harley Quinn. That's why the Harley Quinn cartoon, which is pretty good. You should check it out. It's on my Plex. I don't know if it's all there or not still anymore, but it's pretty freaking good and very adult.
Even better.
Very adult. But he's on that and he's hilarious on that. I forgot that was him, but that totally makes sense because the voice. I have been watching season 5 of What We Do in the Shadows as well.
Okay.
These two.
Hard to believe that's going for season 5. That's a long time.
Yeah. It's fun. They're still doing stuff you're surprised by in that one. And I did not realize, but there's another spin-off by this, like, I don't know how it's related, but another related show, Wellington Paranormal. You know about this?
No, haven't heard of it.
It's in New Zealand, so I'm pretty sure it's the same group of people.
More Taika Waititi?
I don't know. Let me see if his name's even here. Yep, he's one of the creators. So it's basically these cops in a small town in New Zealand, and they're just dealing with paranormal stuff. They see one thing, and then their boss is like, I've always thought there might be paranormal stuff. So he, like the chief of police, and he makes these two people secretly the paranormal investigators of the police force, and they're all oblivious and dumb and don't know what's going on half the time.
Of course, yeah.
So it's pretty entertaining. It's called Wellington Paranormal. It is on for 4 years now. 3 years.
So when these shows show up and you haven't heard about them, but they've been on forever.
Yeah, a friend of mine told me about this because we were talking to another friend of ours about What We Do in the Shadows, because my friend had sent me a clip of Colin Robinson when he's on the internet trolling people for energy. And my friend was just like, I love this. This is hilarious, because he's a troll by nature. And he was just laughing so hard about it, not realizing it was from a TV show or that this guy was an energy vampire, right? Like, he didn't know any of the background. So me and our other friend, the other coworker, filled him in on that. And then my friend mentioned Wellington Paranormal as a spinoff show. I'm like, wait a second, what? Because I knew about the other spinoff show, the Our Flag Means Death.
Yeah.
Which I had watched all that. I don't think my friend watched.
Still need to watch that. Jeez.
Yeah. It's decent. And I don't think there was a lot to it. I thought it was just like 1 or 2 seasons. I don't know. I binged it pretty quick when I watched it. So I can't remember for sure. I went like 3 in a row. You go to I got 2 left.
I know you didn't do 3 in a row. You're okay.
No, I did. I did Powerless and Wellington Paranormal, and then talked about What We Do in the Shadows as well.
All right. Well, before I get into, I did some TV shows but before I do that, my last big movie, and then I have some Nicolas Cage stuff. I'll save that for the end.
Mm-hmm.
I went to go see Oppenheimer on Tuesday.
In theater.
Throw that money. Just throwing money. I got it. Yeah.
How many movies this month? Is that like 5?
That's 3. 3 for me. This in a week. Okay. I went to 3 movies in a week.
Jesus.
I know. So, but I'm just like, it's that summer. It's that the summer movies are out, and I'm feeling the vibe. So, and then in like 2 weeks, Ninja Turtles is coming out, so I'm going to take my kids to go see Ninja Turtles, which looks fantastic.
I haven't really watched anything.
I was going to say, like, if you wanted to, we should double up, and you take Sean, and I'll bring the 2 kids, and we'll go see Ninja Turtles, because
Lauren would like it too.
Then bring Lauren too. That's fine. Bring everybody. I think it would be fun. So, Yeah, Oppenheimer.
See about the job situation by then. I doubt
That's true.
I doubt I'll have one by then because these
That's
companies
true.
are all taking forever.
The Oppenheimer is considered the father of the nuclear bomb, right? He's the one who developed it. He ran the Manhattan Project in New York. Basically, control it.
I recognized the name and I could not figure out where. I mean, it makes sense, but
okay. So this is Christopher Nolan's new movie. I'm a big fan of Christopher Nolan. I've liked pretty much all of his movies. I fell into the hype cycle of this. Everyone's just like, this movie's been shot in IMAX. You need to see it in IMAX. It's so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. So I went to go see it in IMAX because I got to do it for my man, Christopher Nolan. Okay, this is going to go, and everyone's also praising this movie that it's either like the number 1 or number 2 best movie he's ever made, right? And I really like his stuff. So I'm thinking, I'm like, this thing is built on a pedestal, and there's no way it can possibly achieve the heights that everyone is putting on it. Anyways, go see the movie. Don't get me wrong, the movie is a good movie. You don't have to see it in IMAX, folks. I'm just gonna. It is a character study about the man Oppenheimer and what he did to get the atomic bomb up and running, and what are the ramifications of being responsible for that kind of device that causes as much death and destruction as that thing. Basically, you've created a weapon that allows humanity to destroy themselves, and you've basically just given it to them, saying, here, and can they be trusted with that device? So it's half the movie is him creating the device, and then the other half is basically him dealing with the consequences of having created it.
Okay.
But it is not an action movie. It is not. It is a drama. It is talking. There's suspenseful because he gets caught up in like the political side of things and people trying to take him down. There's a lot of distrust of communism at this point because it's, the end of World War II and everyone's racing to get a bomb. The Germans, the Russians, and the Americans are all pushing to get a nuclear bomb. And it's basically seeing who can get it done first. So
Okay.
It's a good movie. In terms of my ranking of Christopher Nolan movies, I wouldn't put it at the top. It's still a good movie though, but I like other ones better. So there we go.
Okay. Maybe I'll watch it just for the history part of it.
The history, it is brilliantly acted. It is beautifully shot. The sound is great. There's actually points where this is a new trend in movies where the music is so loud you can't hear what they're saying. And even in an IMAX theater, I don't know if he did it on purpose, but there was some times where I was like, I was almost straining my ears trying to figure out trying to shut out the music to focus on what they were saying so I could hear it. But it was a little bit hard. Also, I don't think the AC was on it. That was this is the most packed theater I've been in a long time. It was almost sold out. And the AC was basically non-existent. And by the end of that, and it's a 3-hour movie, started at 10. We didn't get out of there until like 1:20. And I was a sweaty boy when the time we came out of there. So
maybe I won't watch it. I've been still avoiding the freaking Batman, Superman movies for how long? Because they're not good, but also because they're too long.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't feel like 3 hours. I was invested enough in it that the 3 hours felt short. And it's not slow. Like most of these movies, like they take their time with like the panning shots, setting the scene, trying to get people's reactions. There's so much information to go through with this movie. Like it is quick. The dialogue is snappy. It's go, 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 go. There's no wasted time in the movie. So It doesn't feel like 3 hours. It feels like a quick 2.5 at most. So, yeah.
You are never, ever going to be able to guess the next movie I watched.
If you give me a hint.
You want I'll give you someone that's in the movie. That'd be pretty hilarious.
Give me the star. Give me the star.
The star? Oh, that's gonna narrow it down too much.
supporting role.
Okay.
Co-star.
Adam Sandler.
Okay. Adam Sandler is co-star, or like second and
he's like fourth. And Blake Clark. You know Blake Clark?
Oh, who's Blake Clark?
He's one of Adam Sandler's buddies.
Yeah, probably.
How about,
he only works with his buddies.
How about like 20th on the list is Robin Williams?
Jeez. Not helping.
Who's this guy? I was gonna give you another one, but I don't know if she's in anything else. I was gonna give you another name. Julie Brown. I don't know if you know who that is. I don't know who she is very well.
No.
Recognize her barely. Frig.
Just tell me. I can't remember.
Tom Kenny. How about Tom Kenny? The voice of SpongeBob.
Okay.
He's in it too.
No, okay. Not ringing a bell.
Should I can give you the main person or the writer or the director. Choose.
Give me the main character.
The main actor is Bobcat Goldthwait.
That doesn't help me at all.
That's okay, because he's also the writer and the director. I like Bobcat. I've always liked Bobcat. But the movie is Shakes the Clown.
Nope, would never have guessed it.
I have no idea where I've heard of this movie from, but it was on my list. It downloaded, and I'm like, yeah, I can watch that. 1991, and it's Bobcat being Bobcat. He's being like a drunk womanizer, basically. But he's like basically the most talented clown in the community of clowns.
Okay.
There's quite the community of clowns, but there's one of them who is forced to retire for some reason. They don't really totally explain, but I think it's because he did something bad or because he's gross with his dog, or I don't know, something weird. So he's forced to retire from his TV show, and they all want the TV show, but Bobcat thought he would get it, but he doesn't, and this other guy gets it, and then that guy for some reason decides to kidnap people and murder people. It's weird, but
okay.
And Bobcat's a drunk, and they're all trying to help him get over his alcoholism, and Adam Sandler is one of his main buddies, and they're just trying to help him. Actually, I don't even see Adam Sandler in the cast. Top cast. Why is he not in the top cast? Did he get his name removed from this? His name?
This is why I didn't get it. You threw a red herring at me.
He is there.
Okay.
His Adam Sandler's name in this is Dink the Clown. So it's funny. It's worth watching. Like, especially if you want to watch a 90s comedy. And even better, it's about clowns. And the clowns all hate mimes. If they see mimes, they go and beat them up.
Perfect.
And Robin Williams plays a mime. In fact, he plays the mime instructor. in a real skin tight leotard.
Well, put an earmark on that mime thing, and we'll come back to that.
Okay. You should watch Shakes the Clown if you've got another day where you're like, I could watch a stupid movie that's fun.
Okay. Shakes the Clown.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's on my Plex right now.
Perfect.
I have one more, and it's a Nicolas Cage.
Okay. So I'll go through my TV stuff. Did I mention last episode I finished Silo? The show?
Oh,
Silo?
no, I don't think you mentioned finished it.
Finished it. I think
about it, but
I don't think the show had finished yet, but the show is finished now. Finished it. It is very good. Bill and I had a small, short conversation on Twitter, which is now X, which is the stupidest thing ever. Thanks, Elon Musk.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Oh,
I don't like going to my apps and being like, why don't I see Twitter?
Yeah, where's Twitter? X. The frick is this?
Let alone the notifications, like just an X logo.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that doesn't look like everything else.
Oh, we gotta find a place somewhere else to go now, guys. Come on, everyone rally together. Let's figure this out. Come on. Anyways, watch Silo. We had a conversation with Bill. And I told him, great show. But I called the ending in episode 2. And he says, I call bullshit on this. And I said, you're just jealous that I could call it. Because when I was with my wife, I said, it's either this, I said, or it's this other thing. I'm like, and I'm leaning towards this other thing.
Easy to predict too.
You would think so, yeah. So, anyways, but
I've never seen it, so I can't spoil anything.
Yeah.
But I feel like, oh, it's just a big lie and there's no actual thing outside, which is what half these shows do these days.
Yeah.
With, oh, you're all trapped inside and it's really not actually trapped. Weren't you just telling me about, or I saw a space one where it happened? I can't remember what it was. I forget.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyways. And there's even a secondary shot at the end that reveals other things about, and I was like, and I also called that as well. And I was like, I felt pretty proud of myself. And my wife was just like, my wife was there to confirm that, yes, I was right. I'm not right about much these days, but I was right about that.
Send it in a message to Bill or some kind of like way to timestamp it and prove it. Email yourself or something like that. But,
I should. Anyways, you should watch Silo. I think you would enjoy it.
How many episodes is there?
I think it's 10 episodes.
Okay.
And they're
maybe next week at work.
Yeah, there you go. It's fun. So, yeah, watch that. And then, so that was an Apple original series that they've.
Okay.
And then Apple also put out another series called Hijack, starring Idris Elba, where he is on a plane that gets hijacked, and there's stuff going on there. It's also very good. It's only 7 episodes because it takes place between a flight between Abu Dhabi and London, and that would be normally a 7-hour flight. So it's a 7-hour, or it's a 7-episode 1-hour show. That's
a neat concept. I like that idea.
Yeah, it's taking the 24 idea and just shortening it to 7.
Yeah, I never watched 24.
It's good. I'm only 6 episodes at the time of this recording. Only 6 episodes are out, so I'm still waiting for the finale. But yeah, it's a good show. Also, Apple's been doing pretty good. Hard to believe. Apple is also putting out the next Martin Scorsese movie to theaters, which is hard to believe, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. So, gonna probably go to the theaters to watch that one too, because it's my man Scorsese. The man knows how to make a movie. So,
okay. Yeah. I don't follow people to make movies very often.
Oh, you should start. You really get to focus. Focused. All right.
I know Scorsese. I just can't think of all of his films.
You did a lot of like the gangster movies, like Goodfellas, Casino, The Departed, which was really good. He did Silence. He did The Irishman a couple years ago, which was like that 4-hour. Irishman is good, but it's a long movie. But I liked it. Gangs of New York, which I think is fantastic.
Wolf of Wall Street is producer.
Wolf of Wall Street. Wolf of Wall Street is so good. I watched that not that long ago again. I've watched that movie so many times. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. All right, I'm going to start my Nicolas Cage. Because you have one Nicolas Cage.
One.
I have a few, more than one. I went back. I said I was going to do it, so I went back and I watched Raising Arizona. The Coen brothers with starring Nicolas Cage.
Yep. Okay.
I'd seen it before because it was a Coen brothers movie, and now I watched it because it was a Nicolas Cage movie. You have very different interpretations when you watch it, focusing on different parts of it, especially Nicolas Cage. Moving up. I think Nicolas Cage is really good in this movie. He's very well cast because he's that dopey kind of idiot, and he fills that role really, really well. This doesn't really focus on the whole like womanizing. He's not focused on one woman as much as he is in other movies. He's married to her, but he's not just like obsessed.
Yeah, he's not like obsessed. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was good.
He was when he was a little bit when he was trying to pick her up at the very beginning.
That's pretty typical of anybody trying to pick anybody up, though, right? So
yeah,
and it wasn't. I don't know.
It was
I didn't
across multiple arrests, but they also don't make it like it's the only woman he goes for either.
Yeah.
So that's the other part that doesn't really line up with what he sometimes does.
It was a little bit. It was different anyway than what we'd seen so far. Not in the same typical Nicolas Cage stereotype. But yeah, I'm gonna go out there and say I don't really like this movie. I like the first half of it. I don't like the second half. It just gets a little bit weird, especially with like the biker from the apocalypse hitman.
But if you had taken the movie from the halfway point and changed the beginning to fit the end more, I still think it could have been a decent movie.
Possibly, yeah. But
they just don't fit well.
They just don't fit. They're two opposite movies being thrown together. Yeah. And it doesn't make sense to me why the biker character just throws everything out. If the rest of it was there, it'd be fine. That biker guy just ruins the whole movie for me, and I don't understand. He's probably a metaphor for something, but I just
or they were just trying to get some action in there.
Yeah, possibly.
There's not enough action in this script. Let's write in some guy. The family will hire a guy. Who can they have? Oh, let's get somebody who's over the top action.
Yeah. So whatever. Aside from that, that's the second time I've seen it. That's probably the last time I watch it, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All right. And then the next one I watched, your favorite. You're going. This is where we're going to bring the mimes in. There's mimes in Vampire's Kiss. Very briefly.
I don't remember.
There are on the street. You see them. Okay. You see them in one scene, but I remember the mimes very carefully.
He doesn't attack them, does he?
No, they're just they are mimicking an assault on the street.
Okay, I don't remember very well. It's been too long since I saw it.
I kind of watched this. I was getting better, but I was still sick. And so I felt like I was a little bit delirious as well when I was watching the movie, and I'm just like, am I a vampire? This movie is.
You wouldn't be sick.
That's true. I'm going to say you're right. That is the most Nicolas Cage movie I've ever seen.
Right?
It is everything you can imagine from Nicolas Cage. He is obsessed with a woman. Mm-hmm. He's almost obsessed with two women, but especially one, but in the negative effect, right? Yeah. Like in every other movie, he's been obsessed romantically, and this one he's like obsessed hatefully. He's going out of his way to make this woman's life miserable.
For what
reason? For no reason, just because he's an asshole. But yeah, I do like how they played with it. Like you don't know if he is or he isn't.
Yeah.
The fact and they also played on the tropes of what vampires can and can't do, and so you're waiting for him to do them, but he always puts himself in a situation where you can't quite see if he can do it or not. Like before he's quote unquote a vampire, there's always a mirror around. You can see him in a mirror, so he's not a vampire yet. But as he starts to like degrade in his mental state where he thinks he is, he destroys all the mirrors so that you can't see mirrors around him anymore. You cannot confirm if he is or isn't until the one scene where you do confirm if he is or isn't. And that's when you're just like, oh, I see what's going on here. So it's good.
I don't remember that part, but anyway, yeah. I don't remember what that was.
Not that anyone's going to watch this, but he's in the bathroom looking at himself in the mirror saying, where am I? Where am I? You can clearly see that he's in the mirror. He's not a vampire.
That's what I thought. I remembered that, but I don't know. Okay. It's been too long since I saw it.
Yeah.
But I remember it being.
So I'll be honest. I wasn't expecting that movie. I was expecting a by the numbers. He is a vampire, blah, blah, blah. We're going to have a vampire movie.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely way out there.
Yeah. And that's not what I expected to get. So it was good. I would probably watch it again.
I would, especially with a group of friends, to be like, what the hell just happened? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You're Nicolas Cage.
All right. My Nicolas Cage was Honeymoon in Vegas,
Okay.
1992.
92.
So in this movie, he is. Oh my god! Now I need to remember. It's been so long since I watched it. Why is it not coming up on my IMDb? My god! I'm trying to bring up who it was. It was in the movie. It was Sarah Jessica Parker. That's who it was. Sarah Jessica Parker is like his girlfriend. She wants to marry him, but his mother made him promise he would never marry anyone
Okay.
before she died because he could never love them as much as he loves her. Or they could never
weird.
love her as much as he loves.
So
she
weird.
loves him. Well, yeah, it's weird. So anyway, that's the whole premise of the freaking movie. And then Sarah Jessica Parker's like, we're either getting married or I'm leaving you. And he's like, no, we'll get married. We'll get married. We'll get married. So they go to Vegas to get married. And then the rest of the movie happens, which is basically the bulk of it. And it's even more messed up than that.
Okay.
So they go to this casino hotel. Nicolas Cage says, the James Caan is the villain basically in the movie, and he sees the Sarah Jessica Parker and says, "Oh my God, she looks exactly like my dead ex-wife." So he sends a note to their room saying, "Oh, come play a game of poker. It's on the house. It's just for all new guests, basically." So Nicolas Cage goes to play it because he thinks he's quite good at poker, and James Caan basically rigged it so he'd lose.
Okay.
And says, "Well, if you let me have your girlfriend for the weekend, then I'll forgive your debt."
Oh, okay.
So it's
almost sounds like an indecent proposal.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up. And then of course James Caan like, "You should marry me, not him." And Nicolas Cage is like, "No, come back to me," and all this ridiculous stuff goes from there. So there's just like little bits of where he is, and then of course he dressed up as Elvis in the movie.
Of course, because
that's another Nicolas Cageism.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to ruin everything. That's pretty much most of just the setup of the movie, and then everything else is the details of how that happens and stuff. But yeah, and Sarah Jessica Parker looks smoking in this movie. That counts for.
You got to have something, right?
Yeah,
someone's going to upset looking at Nicolas Cage.
Supposed to be the reason why this guy wants her so badly and stuff.
Yeah.
It was I don't know, not that cagey. I think I made it a C on our scale of caginesses.
Okay. I'll get there.
I just filled that out now. So
okay, I filled out some of mine.
Vegas. Yeah, I saw you did.
All right, the next one I watched. Time to Kill.
Oh, see, and I haven't
not a Time to Kill, just Time to Kill.
Yeah,
I haven't filled it out yet. This movie is not what I was expecting at all.
Okay.
Like at all.
You were expecting A Time to Kill?
I was expecting some killing. There's no killing. There's kind of a killing. There's kind of a killing, I guess. Sure. But yeah, so Nicolas Cage plays an army in the Italian. He's an officer in the Italian army.
Okay.
I forget which country they're in Africa. Anyways, they're Ethiopia. That's the one. So they're building and conquering the rebels, that kind of stuff. But he has a toothache, so he decides to leave, and then,
that's a random reason to leave.
He's leaving his post and he's going back to camp to find a doctor to look after his toothache.
Okay, he's not going home. Okay.
No, he's just like, I need to go and get this out. On the way back, his truck crashes, and he's just like, well, I'm not waiting here for someone to come and rescue us. So he just starts walking. He gets lost, blah, blah, blah. One thing leads to another. He ends up finding this African woman bathing in this river or in this lake that he's supposed to find. And by the river, whatever is supposed to lead to a lake, there's a road. If he follows the road, that'll take him to the camp. That's basically what he was told. So there's this African woman in the bathing in the water, and he takes a liking to this woman.
He becomes cagey.
He becomes very cagey. He becomes obsessed with this woman. you know.
Mm-hmm.
This woman is not obsessed with him at first, but he forces her to like him.
Oh, okay.
It's awkward, man. It is awkward.
Because he's fun and makes her laugh.
Sure is.
Okay.
He doesn't do anything to encourage her. He just, does things to make her like him.
I see.
Yeah. That was
89.
89.
This takes place in 1936.
Yes. But the 89 was the era, and even early 90s was just like, super casual rape.
For sure.
Yeah, not a big deal.
Especially in movies. Yeah.
Yeah. Not, we got raped. Oh, well, get over it. That kind of thing. So movies, man, they're... Anyways, I should preface this by saying this movie is not like really commercially available. It's not streaming anywhere. We couldn't download it anywhere. There's a YouTube link where I had to watch it. Okay. And it is the guy on the YouTube channel has an Italian copy of it. So like all the writing and stuff is in Italian, and even some of the scenes are in Italian, but he synced up the English audio to it.
Good times.
So yeah, and you'll have like really good quality stuff, and then at some point it like dips. Maybe he had to there was a scene somewhere he couldn't get a good transfer, so he just used the original. It just looks like garbage, and then it goes back to looking good again. So yeah, it was an adventure watching. And then it just kind of goes into the same thing of Nicolas Cage beating himself up and going into like a mental hell based on things that happen between him and her, and not because of the casual rape. He's not upset about that. That's fine, but other things. So it's a strange movie. I'm glad I watched it to complete the filmography, but I don't know if I'll be going back.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go back to any of these Nicolas Cage movies, but there's some more than others.
Yeah. This wouldn't be on the list of I'm going back to watch it. He's also not very cagey in it at all. So
okay.
He's trying to play it straight, and he does play it pretty well straight.
He doesn't dress up as Elvis anytime in this movie.
Doesn't dress up as Elvis. That's true.
This is too early for Elvis. But he is obsessed with a woman, and yeah, obsessed with a woman, I guess. And he's crazy. No, he's not crazy at all.
He drives himself crazy, a little bit crazy.
Yeah, he said that. Yeah, so he does a little bit of Nicolas Cage craziness. So
yeah. So there you go. Time to Kill. Go watch it on YouTube. If you need a link, let me know. It's not readily available, even if you search for it.
You have it in Plex too, though.
I downloaded the YouTube video, but it didn't download the audio, so it's just silent. So I got to figure out how to.
Oh, okay.
I'll probably just delete it, to be honest with you.
Didn't download the audio. That sounds like you screwed up.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, weird. There's no audio. Definitely says no audio stream. So I won't add that to my watch list. I'll have to do it on YouTube.
Yeah, do the YouTube.
I think I had the YouTube link on there, didn't I?
It's on the Google Doc, which is, or not the Google. Yeah, it's on the Google Doc, which is how I found it. I was just like, I searched Google or YouTube for it, and it didn't pop up for me.
Oh, weird. Could have delisted it, but it doesn't show that. So
yeah.
All right. Well,
weird.
I need to figure out which one of those things you've recommended I need to actually watch first.
The Abyss.
I was going to say Silo.
Yeah, Silo. Yeah. Silo and The Abyss. Between everything I watch Silo and The Abyss. Absolutely.
Okay. Before Hijack.
Yeah. Hijack's not finished yet, so might as well wait.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think Silo is better than Hijack. I definitely enjoyed Silo more. I enjoyed Silo so much. So it's based on a bunch of books. I actually went and downloaded the audiobook. So I'm going to do that at some point. And apparently they changed the series from the book. The book is different. So okay. I don't want to go too far ahead in the books because I think Silo's been renewed for a season 2.
Oh, I gotcha.
So I don't want to read too far ahead in the books and then spoil the show. I'd rather watch the show first and then go back and read the book. So
I can see that.
Listen to the book. Okay, I don't read books. I listen to books. Shut up. Shut up, Derek.
I didn't say anything wrong.
I have that argument with my wife all the time. I'm like, oh, I read this book. She's like, you didn't read it. You listened to it. I'm like, same.
My wife and I both say it the same way. Either way.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
It's interchangeable to me. Yeah.
We both actually still clarify to each other. Like, oh, I was reading this book. And it's like, actually, I listened to the audiobook. We'll stop ourselves from saying it that way. But
I just say I read it because I don't want to get into it. And then it just becomes an argument. I'm like, I should have just clarified. But on principle, I'll say no.
Listen to this audiobook.
Yeah. Well, is that an episode? My voice is going to give out here in a sec, so.
Not 3 hours yet, but.
Well, we got to give Blink a break. Or no, not Blink. We got to give Top Spot a break. All right?
Yeah.
We don't have 3 hour episodes. We have 2.5 hour episodes. All right?
I did tell him the last 3 episodes have been just under 3 hours. So.
Yeah. So shut your hole there, Top Spot. All right?
Whoa. We don't treat our patrons that way.
We have a Patreon. What?
No, patrons. But
yes, yeah, we have a Patreon. What?
Yeah. Only if you stop yelling at these people.
Okay. We should have a Patreon. We'll just berate you until you pay us, and then we will stop berating you.
Some people would pay to be berated.
Ooh, well, we could have one for either side. We'll have that's our only fans side. Patreon is to stop it.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. All right. That's
it for me. My voice is tired.
I'm tired.
It's midnight, and we don't. It's Friday. We're actually recording on a Friday where we don't have to go. You don't have to work tomorrow, regardless.
I don't have to work next week either, or the week after that. Probably not the week after that either. At the ways these HR departments are going.
Let's hope you are.
Yes, I would prefer to pocket the severance and use it for expenses and fixing my car over using it to survive off of.
Of course. Yeah. Yes. We'd like to be bonus money, not actual money.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Alrighty. Well, thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you all in I guess this was in August, so September. School's about to start next month, so
happy birthday to me in August.
Man, you spoiled it. I was gonna say happy birthday next month. Happy birthday, Derek. I'd probably forget anyway. Alrighty. Goodbye.
Okay. Bye.